All right, everybody. Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show. There he is. Hey, having
What
a little
what
bit of
what in the hell?
a little mess up here. I I I cannot find my mouse. I cannot find my mouse for the other computer. I kind of do two things at once here.
I have a mouse.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I have two of them, and I couldn't find the one that I needed. So we are. He is the Podfather. Good morning, Podfather. Good to see you. What's going
How
on?
you doing?
How's life?
Hey, I mean, I'm just watching all the fun football deals going on with all the U-Hauls moving all across country, and
Man,
it's incredible. But you know
man.
what though? While all this has the NFC East has turned itself upside down, except for one team, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate. It's my damn team.
but didn't they made one signing, and
One
I
move.
and I didn't. I didn't make a what do you call it? I didn't make a
Yeah, okay.
frame for it
Yeah,
because it wasn't all that big.
yeah, because let's face it, had they signed with the Jags, you'd be blowing it all up. But we know how you are. But I did see one thing that was really interesting. Mike Pollan put this out. The Commanders have spent the most in free agency in the last 3 years, and have got 19, 31, and 1. The
Wow.
Cowboys have spent the least and have been crowned NFC champs twice at that time. Based on this
Yes.
trend, why should the Cowboy fans be concerned with free agency spending right now? That's fair.
All
But
right.
but
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that as we get started here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Welcome into our weekly tradition. Um, how are you feeling about that? I mean, let's be honest here. The Dallas Cowboys are in a situation where they need help at a lot of places.
they do.
And not making moves in free agency is one thing that is not the norm for the Dallas Cowboys.
Actually, apparently it is. Because here's the thing: if you go back and look at their free agency signings in the last say 10 years, their biggest signing has been Brandon Carr. Okay, Brandon Cooks, guess this Gilmore were all trades, so they were not free agents coming in here to the Cowboys. So when you look at the idea that I mean their history of spending money on free agents, Greg Hardy, yeah, that worked out well. I mean,
Yeah. Hmm.
there's several like that. Hell, Gerald McCoy, we picked him up and he lasted through August. I mean, what's his name? Alan Hearn, receiver for the Cowboys for like
Hmm.
barely a year. He didn't
Heard.
last very
Yeah.
long. Yeah, he didn't last very long. So I see their hesitancy to go out and get big name free agents and pay big money to have not when to get what you're not expected because remember these guys are coming from other teams. Some of them are kind of worn out now. Stephon Diggs is out there right now, and he doesn't want to play for the Bills, and his brother plays for the Cowboys. So, do I think Dallas is going to spend the money to get him? No, because they have to trade him because the Bills still have his rights. And what
Hmm.
are the Cowboys willing to give up for a receiver who may have seen better days behind him? I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, there you go. He can go to the Jets all he wants. I was hoping
That's
he'd
the
go.
only one I put up with the Cowboys. It's and it
I
was a
was
loss, not a gain in reality. So there you
well.
go.
I was hoping he would go to the Chiefs because I think the Chiefs have got a better chance to three-peat than do the Jets that were going anywhere. Because one thing about Tyron Smith, he was a great player here, but
Yes.
do you want to spend that kind of money on a player who is somewhat injury prone, who's going to get beat up quite a bit, who's going to be day to day?
That dude for the last 4 years has been a guy, where they have to figure out in case something happens, kind of thing, for the last 4 years with him.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, everybody says the Cowboys say they're the richest team in the NFL. Yeah, value wise, sure, but the salary cap wise, no. They were probably about what 8 point something $1 million for only using it in the free agency, unless they redo Dak's contract, which they haven't done yet.
Hmm.
And then of course those out the other theory. Do you want to sign Dak for 5 more years? for a player who hasn't really produced when it was needed. There's a lot. I mean, once again, this is like the arbitration thing in baseball, right? You can come to arbitration and tell us you think you're worth all this amount of money. We're gonna lay out the facts to why we're not gonna pay you. Lamar. But I think moving forward right now, I don't see Dallas being a big, huge player in free agency because there's no one else to go get.
Right.
Um, but and they're probably going to nickel and dime a few players that are probably on their last legs or whatever. Um, as nice backups or nice relief players. But you know, there's a bang to hype ratio when it comes to free agency in the NFL. Yes, the big
Right.
star marquee players there, but what if? Doesn't always guarantee they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And when there's a lot to gamble, a lot of money being thrown around that you and I can never really fathom because, let's face it, no one's going to pay as many dollars to work for them.
This is true.
So, I think while the Commanders have done a fantastic job getting players in, while the Eagles have done a fantastic job, the Giants all teams have done a great job getting players in. What's it going to take for 17 weeks out of the season? What's going to happen when the injury bug hits? What's going to happen when you have to accumulate for the amount of money you already spent on free agency? Now you got to go out there and find bottom feeding players after free. The one thing you have to remember as well, Dallas does really good with getting free agents after the draft.
Right.
Finding those diamonds in the rough. Are they all the end all be all? No, but they're definitely pieces that you can use. Not saying it's going to fit the process, but it might actually help. It's the goals for any team to win free agency. Right.
What he's saying is the way that the Dallas Cowboys are doing it so far as what is going on this year in the probably about 5 or 6 years. We're not seeing a dive and getting the guys that are going on. Why that is, that's always the question. You can ask that question. Why are the Dallas Cowboys kind of slacking when it comes to getting guys? And that comes from the top. That comes from a guy by the name of Jerry Jones that will or make or break your team, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But if we're going on the things about
also you gotta look
money,
at,
go ahead.
but the thing you have to worry about this though, as I said, for the last 10 years, free agency has not been a big player in the Cowboys picking up players.
Right.
It's either been draft, it's been trades, it's been something else, right? So, because like I said, the last biggest player they picked out of free agency was Brandon Carr. That was 2013. Maybe.
Yeah, and that wasn't during the quote unquote free agent frenzy, that is going on like now. He was picked up like about 3 weeks before the season started. So that was, so I did exactly.
I mean, if you remember correctly, years ago, they went and signed a big name free agent to be their quarterback after Maitman left and after you had the Quincy Carr and stuff, and that was the guy who played for the Rams. I think he played with the Rams, but he lasted like not even training camp.
His name's I know who you're talking about. He was the last one to get a good rookie contact.
Tony Banks. That's what I'm thinking.
No, it wasn't Tony. It was some white guy. Wasn't it Buford?
No.
Gosh.
No.
Maybe Cuervo will remember.
I remember we brought in Tony
Sam
Banks.
Bradford. Was it Sam Bradford? That's what I'm thinking of.
Sam Bradford never came to the Cowboys.
Okay, very good. All right.
But no. I remember we had acquired Tony Banks in free agency, and that was around late 90s, early 2000s. And the idea was he was going to be the quarterback to take the reins and just start going with it, right? He didn't even last training camp. So, I mean, hits and misses, right? You're going to have a lot of hits and misses when it comes to free agency. Not everybody's going to pan out. And the thing is, that what I always wonder about, everybody talks about Will McClay being the best guy for the scouting department for the Cowboys when it comes to one, except for last year when they got Mozzie, or like his last name is. But my question is, who's the guy that's watching the free agents? If it's Jerry, we're in trouble. If it's Steven, we're in trouble. If it's Jerry Jr., we're in trouble. So who's the guy that's really looking at the free agents that are out there saying, what's the best way we spend our money? Then again, look at the money they have to spend. 8.something million with no one else extended. So you have a budget that you're not quite aware of, and all of a sudden you got running backs who are jumping up there getting $13-something million a year, and you're going, well, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So,
and depending on who it is and what it is and the talent of the person that they're going to be going after, that might be the, I don't know if you want to call it strategy, but finding out who's still available right before the season that's got a little talent and they don't have to throw any money at them, which is kind of contrary to what the Cowboys are in reality when you think about it, because they do spend money. Out of all the teams in the NFL, you don't have to worry about Jerry Jones not opening up the wallet.
Well, but this is the problem Dallas ran into. They throw out the words, "We're going to be all in." This is not being all in.
No, and just like Cuervo said, I mean, when they're going about it all wrong. They're not doing it right. I mean, if you're going to go all in, that means you find out with a magnifying glass what team or what positions that need assistance, and if you're all in, you go out and get them, and that's the big story.
Is he popping on today?
Huh?
Is Cuervo popping on today?
Cuervo is not going to be popping on. He's going to be in the comment section with us because he went to a concert and they stayed at a hotel, so he's not at his home studio. So,
because I'm curious because the Bears made a lot of moves. The Bears,
and we're going to talk about that. As far as the Bears, because of all the moves and everything, and because it really is because of this guy.
You dig it, sucker.
As I can always dig it, because he is the man. I can see right now, we have the MVP as Cuervo, right? But this is definitely a 1A on the MVP right here. It's Bryce from Brooklyn, the best smile on the internet as well. Good morning, my friend. Good to see you. What's going on?
By the way, where's my plaque?
We're working on the plaque. We're working on a new design. The other one was not, it's kind of plain. I can show you what the other one, but your plaque is coming. And shut up, Bryce from Brooklyn is here. How you doing, Bryce? Good to see you.
Hey, if Bryce had won this past year, he'd be saying, "Where's my damn plaque?"
I probably would have his plaque already to him.
Yeah, what a kiss ass. Golly.
So there you go. How you doing, Bryce? Good to see you, man.
And it's great to see you guys. I figured today, with everything going on, I was going to break out the towel.
I'm glad you did.
What a wild free agency, man. There's a lot to get into. I'm here till 11:30.
What you're here until what time?
11:30.
Okay, so we got you for about 45 minutes is basically what's going on. So let's do it. Okay, it's not so breaking as it's already been out there. But I wanted to show Cuervo. I went out and I made the effort, and I got the things going on. So as Cuervo says, here we go. It's all about the big story, here, and it's interesting. By the way, you got two starting quarterbacks on your football team, which normally means you don't have any. I mean, so and that was the first thing I thought about as far as the big story. There it is, Justin Fields, and not more than 4 days before they signed Wilson. So I guess the question would be to the guy who keeps track of the Steelers, that being Bryce from Brooklyn. Do you have a quarterback?
Yes. I mean, if you've got two quarterbacks, you don't have one. That's an interesting way
You have a Super Bowl winning quarterback on your team, and he's asking you, do you have a quarterback?
Yes, I get what he's saying. I think in theory, when people say that, normally that's because the coach is not decisive about the quarterback. But in this case, the Steelers have stockpiled and totally reset the room. Let me start this conversation off.
Okay.
As I said, I don't run and hide. And I come on and we do this show and I talk and I don't shy away from things I say. And so I wish the fine co-host of this show was on right now, because he's going to not like this. We actually have to step back. I can't believe I got to say it. And we have to give Sonny Clark his props. He was the first one that came on last year and said the Bears need to trade Justin Fields. Cuervo and I, Podfather, you weren't on here. Right. I think Tom Hawker was on it. Cuervo was going to snap. We clowned Sonny all day long. We said he needed drug tested. We needed to take his show away. They needed to stage an intervention.
That's still true, by the way.
Talking about Cuervo. Cuervo did this with his laptop.
He did. Yes, he did.
He did that. He didn't want to hear it.
Yeah. What?
And yet the Bears, I didn't even really know if the Bears were really, really going to do it. They went and did it. They traded Justin Fields, just like Sonny Clark, who was the first on this show to say they need to trade Justin Fields.
Flag out on the field, baby.
And listen, Podfather, you got to give credit where credit is due. Sonny Clark called it.
Yeah.
I don't run and hide. I own what I said.
Okay.
He didn't want to hear anything he had to say.
Listen.
Off his rocker.
Listen. Yes.
He needed to lose his show. We said all that. I said that stuff. Cuervo agreed.
He's still on the Garoppolo bandwagon, so we'll see.
Hey! Listen. Before you get into the Jimmy Garoppolo thing, you don't take that whole thing out of context as well. So let's just be cool about that. Don't. Hey, I'm telling you right now, the Rams got the best backup quarterback in the NFL, and I'm telling you right now, you can shake your heads, do the Justin Fields on me again. I'm telling you right now, he is the best. He is the best backup quarterback in the NFL.
He looks good on the clipboard. Yes, he does. Yes, he's really good.
Hey. Listen.
Look, Sonny, take the win I'm giving you for Justin Fields. You ended up being right, and we were wrong. The Bears have traded Justin Fields.
I was wrong.
Start off by also saying, and I don't know what Cuervo thinks about this. I'm going to stick and still agree with Obi. I think the Bears are a little crazy to do this. This is a huge risk. I like Justin Fields. I feel there is enough and a lot to build on. They never committed to him. They never built the offense for him. They straddled him with bad coaching. And I feel a guy of that high pedigree with what he has shown, you're taking a risk. I mean, look, Aiden Daniels looks amazing. Caleb Williams, I know you guys talk about the diva stuff. I think talent-wise, looks like he could throw the football. So I get it. They're going to take one of those guys. It's a big risk for Ryan Poles. Much as Ryan Poles, I think, wants to do right by the players.
But here's the thing. What does that say about Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett, and Desmond Ridder?
Look, for all of those guys, Ridder a little bit less because I felt they tried to establish the run game and kind of build some things. For Kenny Pickett, it's all of those things. Mike Tomlin, Matt Canada failed Kenny Pickett. You draft a guy.
I agree.
You got to build around him. They straddled him with probably the worst offensive coordinator between him and Nathaniel Hackett in the league. He wasn't a pro coach. You had Mike Tomlin, a more conservative coach. You had a system that didn't work. You had an offensive line that, quite frankly, just was average at best, a little bit below. So they didn't help. But Kenny also didn't play to the point where he can be out here acting like he was acting behind the scenes. At the end of the day, if Kenny Pickett throws 15 to 19 touchdowns and elevates the bad system, like Mason Rudolph did those 3 games, we're not even talking about Russell Wilson. Kenny is the quarterback. and we're going to see what he does this year. But he didn't do that. He threw 6. He just wasn't. He missed too many open throws and wasn't good enough to try to command the cachet that he thought he should have. So it's
missing the short passes. Hey, Bryce, missing the short passes as a quarterback in the NFL, that's going to get you out. That's going to get you ran out of league. Okay, it is as simple as that, and that don't matter what the coverage is or whatever. You got to deliver the ball, and we're talking from the goal line to 15 yards in. And Kenny Pickett wasn't making those passes, so that's where one of the problems. But here's another thing: as far as the Justin Fields thing, Justin Fields should be glad that he's leaving. I mean, they basically started building a football team around Caleb Williams, and that as far as and I don't even want to say hurt feelings. You go, what the hell is this? What's going on here? I mean, if you built the team the way that you're building your football team right now around Justin Fields, maybe not this year, but last year or the year before, let's get serious here. We're talking about the Bears actually maybe making the playoffs if they made the moves that they made. But this was also a slow burn from Brian Poles to get to where he is now, and then to make the decision on Justin Fields. I'm telling you right now, I still honestly, and everybody knows I'm not a Justin Field fan, okay? All right, but Caleb Williams, and I know I'm old school. I know, get off of my front yard, damn it. Okay, I don't want guys like that on my football team. I want guys that have a passion for the game, not a passion for themselves, and that is what you got with Caleb Williams. And you can say whatever you want about that whole thing. There is one thing that stands firm in reality regarding Caleb Williams, and I'm putting it right there. Your ego will kill your talent. I'm telling you. And the Bears are making a very, very bad mistake here.
You know what, though? Going back to what you said about Kenny Pickett, though, I mean, you guys mentioned earlier that the offensive coordinator failed him in the process, right? Mm-hmm. Well, didn't that the offensive coordinator's fault to not get after Kenny Pickett and say, "Look, go for the short passes"? Don't just scan the field and go, "I'm fucked, I got to run." I mean, at that point, yeah, you can fault Kenny Pickett for not making the plays on the field when he did. But that's come down to coaching. He had a lack of that going in to where he was literally thrown into the fire when the season started and says, "Here, figure this out." And that's a lot. Totally agree. That's a lot for a rookie quarterback to really grasp at that time. Is okay. I'm gonna go figure out how this works when this is an entirely different ballgame than college ball.
So you bring up a good point, Podfather, and let's expound on this because there's a lot of guys in the Steeler kind of media that have talked about this one guy in particular. Shout out to Chris Carter. He does a great job covering the team. He brought up something that we have to think about when it comes to offensive coordinators. It's not just about calling plays. It's about developing players and developing talent. And Matt Kent he had never developed a quarterback before. He showed he didn't know what he was doing. The quarterbacks looked like they didn't know where they were going with the ball consistently.
Which was what Sonny said.
And which is what Sonny said. And they weren't making the throws that were there. It was a complete organizational failure. Matt Canada did not only was his play calling off in the system, he couldn't develop quarterbacks. And sometimes when you talk about kind of what Cuervo said, all of that meets together. Like the NFL is a business, teams pivot. It's not about whether they like you. And I think one of the biggest things that becomes an indictment of Kenny Pickett, you talk about ego, Sonny. Now the stuff's coming out about him not wanting to play in that game and him canceling a workout earlier and him not adjusting well to Russell Wilson. But the one thing that stands out, Kenny's teammates were advocating for other quarterbacks. They wanted Russell Rudolph. They wanted Russell Wilson to come here, which is telling me that behind the scenes, they didn't believe in him. So therefore, that and I think a lot of that come back to his play and the way that he was acting.
Well, then I got a question. Okay. So is this a failure of Matt Canada? Is this a failure of Mike Sullivan? Or is this an actual reality, a failure of your head coach?
No,
and
no,
that
no.
being Mike Tomlin.
When I say organizational failure, I mean Tomlin, Sullivan, the QB coach, Canada, and Kenny Pickett. They all take culpability in this situation going south the way it is. Mike Tomlin did him no favors by sticking with Canada, who was not a good offensive coordinator. Mike Sullivan, who I feel seems like a good guy and a coach, wasn't pressing the right buttons. And Kenny Pickett, when put on the field, did some good things, but did not play nearly well enough to warrant him getting to a point where he's going to be upset that we're bringing in a Russell Wilson who played better than him last year, a Justin Fields who played better than him last year. Kenny Pickett threw 6 touchdown passes. Now, it's still a product of all of those things, but it's just not good enough. If he throws 15,
but the ultimate thing on that, though, Bryce, the ultimate thing, I did this years ago, about 6 to 7 years ago, and I don't know if you remember, Bryce, but I was a little bit on Mike Tomlin might be a problem. And I'm going to go on to that because here's one thing. Yes, there are other people involved with the organization. Okay. That being Matt Canada, in reality, right? That's Mike Sullivan. Okay. But who's above that making and pulling these decisions? Now, granted, there's something to be said about a coach that'll let a coach, right? As far as your head coach, there's something to be said about that. But sooner or later, you got to remember and know when to pull the plug. And that's my question. Is Mike Tomlin getting past the point where he doesn't know when to pull the plug? And that is one of the problems that I foresee. Now, listen, if there is a head coach available and it's Mike Tomlin and I'm on any other football team, the other 31 teams, I'm looking at my head coach going, Mike Tomlin, who I got? Oh, shit. Wait. And so I am doing that. But at the same time, everybody rips Sonny Clark. Oh, he goes to a new place. He's a new system, a new look for everybody. And I don't know if that's crap. I believe there's a partial part of me that believes that's crap. But there's also more thing that shines is a person not making the right decisions. And those decisions were not made by Art Rooney. Okay. Those decisions were made by the head coach. It wasn't made by the GM. Those decisions were made by Mike Tomlin. So the question is, late on pulling the plug on Canada, he should have never been the offense coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2023. You were hollering about it almost 3 years ago. So, taking too much time to pull the plug on something that is not working, that fails on Mike Tomlin. Not the Steelers organization, not the Steelers as a whole. This has to fall up underneath the guy that leads this football team.
That's very fair. And I mean, but then Rooney has to be able to come in and say, hey, Mike, this isn't working. And maybe press him a little more to say.
Has he ever done that though?
I'm sure he has behind the scenes. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Okay.
He's not a meddling owner, but he has say. And I'm sure he's come in, but he lets his coaches coach, but I'm sure he has some say. But ultimately, I agree with you. When Mike Tomlin finally goes or isn't here, every coach, no one coaches forever. But what's gotten his seat a little warmer is the fact that he stuck on to Matt Canada too long and wasn't quick to adjust. Now, this also is an indictment on Kevin Colbert's late drafting, which wasn't that good. Omar Khan is coming in and adjusting everything. Like he's moving on the fly, making decisions, which is good because it shows the Pittsburgh Steelers are adjusting a little bit. They're changing. They're going to maybe make quicker decisions if you're not performing, or if you're a coach that's not doing things you need to do, maybe they start moving quicker. But that's a fair assessment in terms of hanging on to people too long as a lack of clear strategy.
But also the fact is, Sonny, you're under the impression that the NFL does all their business out in public. And the fact that whatever goes on backstage, we all get to see firsthand. Right. Not really. So I don't know exactly what kind of control Mike Tomlin really has with that team. I'm not sure exactly if he can go to the front office and go, this guy ain't working. They looked and went, well, that's all we got right now. That could have happened. So I mean, we don't know. All we know
Art
is what we
Rooney's
saw.
how old is Art Rooney? Art Rooney's 82 years old, for God's sake. This guy is not walking into the head coaching
No.
thing.
He's not that
Someone
old.
else is doing that on his behalf in reality.
He's not that old, but he's older.
Yeah, I don't believe for a second that Art Rooney's walking down there. He is definitely sending a messenger,
71.
probably, but I don't think it's Art Rooney himself.
No. I'm saying,
you know.
I'm saying, I mean, we don't know if Mike Tomlin walked into his office and go, "This guy ain't gonna work." We don't know that. Okay, all we know is what we see on the field on Sunday, and all the things that we hear through all the tea leaves and everything else. Of so and so's unhappy. Oh my God, what's going to happen here now? I mean, we don't really know the entire story. All we know is that what we saw currently last year was an offense that didn't work, a quarterback who wasn't picking up the offense, and now the end result is they picked up a Super Bowl winning quarterback who was on a very bad situation last couple of years, who got rid of their quarterback from last year in hopes of just bringing in somebody else,
Right?
And you know what, that happens in this league. And we can all speculate. Was it this? Was it that? Was it this? Was that? We don't know. We really don't know. We're all sitting here playing.
What's our job to speculate? Yeah. That's what we do.
It is. It is. But we can't make it fact when we don't know that. That's what I'm saying. And
we make it fact in the reality of the Couch Potato Sports Show.
I'm sure.
That's where the reality lies.
First of all, there's reality. Then there's Sonny reality. Sonny's reality.
Yeah, that's right. You're making a valid point.
Where your team is on the way to Super Bowl if you have Kirk Cousins and Jimmy G as your quarterback. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, but before I get to that BS comment,
whatever.
I want to talk about teams that might have made a move a little bit too soon.
Wait, Sonny. I've only talked about the Bears and all that. I haven't gotten to the trade.
I want to talk just really quick, and then I'm going to get back because I want to make a point here, and that's what you got. Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett now is a Titan.
No, he's with the Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles. Okay. All right. Now you got Desmond Ridder. All right, Desmond Ridder now with the Arizona Cardinals, right? So you got these two guys that are going, and then you got your Mason Rudolph over to the Titans. Okay, so he signs up, and then the Titans get him. So I guess I'm going to ask the question, because there's one team that seems to be doing things right, and that's the Green Bay Packers. They've had 3 quarterbacks in how many years? Okay. And then you got Desmond Ridder, who gets 1 year. Now, let's be honest. It was a horrible season. I am not going to even, but this is not the day and age where Troy Aikman goes 1-15 and then they let this guy go. They keep him and realize there's bumps and bruises within making your team good. So Desmond Ridder is now an Arizona Cardinal, a forever backup, because he'll never see the starting unless their quarterback goes down. You have Rudolph, who is probably going to be the backup quarterback in reality because that's what his career has been. So you got guys moving around really early, teams making some really quick decisions on quarterbacks on whether or not they're going to stay with their franchise. Good, bad, or indifferent, Cuervo or Bryce?
Yeah, I mean, look, the two things, and I put this on Facebook, the two biggest gaffes in Mike Tomlin's career are sticking with Matt Canada and not drafting Lamar Jackson in 2018. They deferred too much to Ben's feelings when it should have been, we're going to sit Ben down and say, Ben, you're our guy to the end, but no one plays forever, and we've got to think about the organization, and we're going to draft this quarterback to start grooming their next guy. They had the opportunity to get that guy at 28, perfect spot, and they passed. And that they're still paying for those mistakes because then they went with Mason Rudolph, who is the guy. So having your successor on the roster, despite the quarterback's feelings, is the way to go. And if I'm the owner, and that needs to come from the owner. The owner needs to be instilling in the quarterback room, listen, whether you are a backup or you're our guy for the next 15 years, no one plays forever. And we will draft your
and that's relatively new, right?
Expect you to be a good teammate when we do that, because that doesn't mean we're replacing you. but nobody plays forever. And the ship has to keep going to win Super Bowls, particularly in today's NFL, where they're basically made the rules where you need a franchise quarterback to make a run. If you don't have one, it's very difficult.
Yeah, well, and that's a relatively new thing as far as the Steelers are concerned. Everywhere else, it's a norm. Okay, you don't want to hurt their feeling. In the Steelers, I've never thought that was ever anything until it came to Ben Roethlisberger. Why they were worried about that, I don't know. Everybody knew that he was on his way out. So if you don't want to face the reality of your football team, that is huge. But I will say this, interestingly enough, on how you said you gave that as a Tomlin gaffe. I don't. That's a GM, whoever that GM is, and I don't know who it is. That's a GM gap.
Yeah,
not letting Colbert. Ben go. Hey, Ben.
Right.
Exactly. Listen,
it could
we
be a
need
joint
somebody.
Thing too.
It is a joint thing. Yeah. They work together. Yeah,
exactly. So there, but that's more GM in reality, okay? Because I don't think there was a bad relationship, right, as far as Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger. Now, should have it been Tomlin to say that? Yeah, might have been. It might have, lessened the blow of the ego in reality when you're talking about that. So I see what you're saying, but I also see where I have not expected that from a Pittsburgh Steelers thing when it comes to where they're going to go, where their future is, because it's not about I for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's about that towel that's on your shoulder and nothing else. And now we're seeing a little bit of a change in that theory and reality in the new era of the NFL.
This is very true. Sonny, the fine co-host just said the NFL is a business. I want to talk about the players the Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten.
All right, let's do that.
Because when you say the NFL is a business, I want to thank Ryan Poles of the Bears for doing business. Because, boy, he has been good to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, the fine co-host of this show is clapping because, boy, we love us some Ryan Poles. We have flipped Chase Claypool for Joey Porter Jr. We got Justin Fields for a 6th round pick that could be a 4th.
What a steal!
What a steal! And 2, and then more picks. Boy, I tell you, Ryan Poles. Now, credit to Ryan Poles. See, this is what it means to take care of players, not like what Sean Payton pulled. He could have probably gotten more for Justin Fields, but he wanted to do right by the player and send him to a place where you have a chance to compete and maybe start one day, and not like the Eagles where Kenny Pickett has no chance to play. So respect to Ryan Poles, but let's get into the players. First,
you think that was a conscious move?
I think so. So now we're getting into the trade. From the trade standpoint, I think once they saw Kenny Pickett was not on board, they said, time to move on. You don't trust us. We're going to get what we can for you and move on. And so you'll go where we send you. They only know him for 2 years. The cachet was not there. He didn't have Justin Fields' cachet. So they sent him where they felt they can get the best deal. Philly wanted him. They took that 3rd round pick and they moved on. And they were like, we've got other plans in motion. Now let's get to it. First of all, the signing of Russell Wilson. Great signing. Not because Russell Wilson is better than Patrick Mahomes, because for what they want to do, for how they want to play offense, and most importantly, for how much they spent this year to get a quarterback with a ring who can still make the throws and who can still play good football. This is a great move for the Steelers. You get a guy that's going to come in. He's got the pedigree, not a perfect guy, but a guy that can make the plays. And if you get him in structure, and if you can get him to be more efficient throwing over the middle of the field in terms of a package of offense where he can read and play within the structure. This ain't about letting Russ cook. It's about Russ cook within the system that Arthur Smith gives you, and you will be successful. 42 touchdown passes over the last 2 years. That is double what the Pittsburgh Steelers have thrown, in the last 2 years. So They got better immediately for the vet minimum because Denver's on the hook for that. So that's great. In terms of Justin Fields, now that you got rid of Kenny, You needed quarterbacks in the room. You didn't have anyone. You upgrade the talent of that position with a guy that could possibly be a guy for the future, but an insurance policy if Russell Wilson comes and he can't play anymore. Let's just say that happens. You got Justin Fields waiting in the wings. You've reset the quarterback market for your group. And this also allows you and doesn't prevent you from drafting a guy this year if you feel your guy is there in the first 3 rounds. They should not shy away from that because you've reset the talent in the room and how you want that room to look. 2 great moves for the draft compensation they got. This is shrewd. This is not Kevin Colbert's Steelers. This is Omar Khan. He is quick to admitting that it's not working, and pivoting is a skill. And he did that. And these were 2 really good moves. Not to mention Patrick Queen, excellent pickup.
Yes.
For the Steelers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deshaun Elliott, I think, is going to be good at strong safety because it allows Minka to be that roaming free safety he needs to be. They got a punter. I think the punter that they got from the Texans is a good player. They needed to solidify that. So overall, this has been a really good offseason for the Steelers with more moves to come.
Question. Okay. I disagree with you. One thing that you said. And this is a lot to do with not 1 but 2 quarterbacks that you already have. I think if the Steelers go after one of those top guys, that could cause a problem. Because you got 1 Super Bowl winner. Mm-hmm. You got a guy that is still young. Out of the whole thing on Justin Fields, okay, they got a guy that is young. Okay. Yeah, now, so you got a young guy that could be, depending on how the whole thing works. Obviously, the Bears dropped the ball with Justin Fields and how they played this guy, and or not giving him enough weapons to become successful. More so than as if he is with the Steelers, he's got weapons. He's got the mentality. He's got the chemistry of winning. Okay, let's be honest. The Bears haven't been known for winning for years. The Steelers, even though they haven't won lately, they still have that chemistry and the mindset of winning. So a total different atmosphere for Justin Fields with an opportunity to be just a guy that will run the ball at the quarterback position. Okay, and if they steer him away from just let's run for 160 yards, he can become a good quarterback. I never said that he couldn't become a good quarterback. I'm saying the way that he was playing football now is not going to benefit your football team, and that was obvious, okay? All you got to do is look at the record. Yes, okay, they won 7 games. What they do? That don't mean jack squat in the NFL. Okay, what means something is 10, 11, 13 game wins. Okay, below that, you're just a guy. You're a jag. Okay, and the year before that was even worse at 3 years. So my question, I wonder, did the Bears give up too early? Even though I was saying trade them, but that was because of culture and what they were doing. Now that they're building this football team, did they make that move 1 year too early, Bryce, and not give Justin Fields to take advantage of what the Bears did here in this offseason?
Well, look, are you talking 1 year early in terms of should the Bears have kept him?
Kept Fields one more time, and you could still go after Williams and then follow him up. I mean, to me, to me, this was a dumb decision. Depending on what you were going to do, you could do 2 things. If he was somewhat successful and then you still wanted to go with Williams, you still could have got better than not only that, you guys stole him for a 6th rounder, and I don't believe in Fields' talent at all, but a 6th rounder, you pull the trigger on that and hope that the new place will be good for him. I think they stole him.
I don't agree with no. See now Cuervo. Now I'm going to say
wait. I got a question. When I saw that, okay, when I saw that come up, I was just wondering in reality, based upon what was said in the past and based upon who is what, but are we backing up here a little bit?
Yeah,
from what we were saying?
Cuervo, now see, Now, Cuervo, you must be out somewhere on those drugs because we weren't saying that. They didn't just, that is not about look, you can say maybe Justin didn't play as well as people wanted him to play, and there's fair. He was inconsistent.
Yes.
But there were some good moments on a team that did not do right by a guy that you draft at number 11. Even Pickett. Pickett's a 20th pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy was picked at 11 to be your franchise. They never built, like Sonny said, they never built around him in a way that supported, said, this is our guy at number 11.
And the 1 year with DJ Moore, he ripped it. Let's be honest. The 1 year with DJ, he ripped it. Just imagine what he could have done with what he may or may not do.
And he's getting what Kenny Pickett didn't get was his teammates wanted him back.
Yeah.
They're like, why are we getting rid of Justin? We got a guy. Multiple teammates came out and said that. Podfather talked about behind the scenes. I don't think behind the scenes, a lot of those players, some of those players are happy about this. It's like, okay, so we're supposed to go to battle now with a rookie. You don't know how that guy's
considering that most players have their own podcast now, it's hard to say.
Hell yeah. But multiple players have come out and said, we want Justin on our team. Good in the locker room guy was making the throws. Like, come on now. Come on, Cuervo. You can't be disingenuous like that.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. I think the Bears saw the writing on the wall saying, look, there's a quarterback we can get in the first 3 picks of the draft. We can build See, this is kind of the genius thing about Justin Fields going to the Steelers. He's still very coachable. He hasn't learned a lot of bad traits right now. He learned.
Yeah, good point.
He learned how to survive in Chicago, barely. But now he's going to go to the Steelers. A little less pressure off of him. More pressure on Russell Wilson to carry. Because once again, if Russell Wilson can't do it, guess who's next in line? Justin Fields. So he gives him time to grow with the offense. Gives him to learn the offense better. I believe as opposed to being thrown into the fire, and also the fact that this is an opportunity. This is like the best opportunity for a quarterback like a Justin Fields, like a Kenny Pickett, like a Desmond Ridder, to where you got the NFL experience, good, but now you're going to sit on the sideline for a little bit and watch the game. When you watch the game, watch how we do things. Pick it up. If you pick it up, great. If you don't pick it up, we'll move you again. That's not a problem. Or we won't resign you. So I think this is the best opportunity for Justin Fields to grow as a quarterback in this league.
Right.
And it took a team that was hungry for a splash. Getting a first-round pick quarterback is a splash in the NFL draft. That's going to help pay dividends for them. They're hoping. Now, once again, all the quarterbacks got to produce as well. And, of course, knowing how Sonny runs this show, Caleb Williams won't do shit for the first year. So, I mean, we all know how Sonny thinks about rookie quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah. He could come out and throw 20 touchdowns, and in the first 2 games, Clark would be like, no. Well, look, to Cuervo's point, to what Cuervo said, let's talk about the 5th-year option. Yeah. $25 million on a 5th-year option actually sounds a lot to us, but to the quarterback market, that's actually not a crazy amount of money for a guy that you believe in, if you believe he's the guy. So Pittsburgh's not going to pick that up just based on circumstance. Well, let me backtrack. I don't think they will, but let me tell you something, Podfather. If they go through these workouts and they really like him and they don't end up drafting another quarterback, which I understand what Sonny's saying, but because you've got to pick up the 5th-year option on Justin Fields, Russell Wilson's a 1-year deal. So let's just say he balls out. He might ask for $30-35 million for every year for 3 years.
Well, considering the fact that Denver's paying for him right now.
Right, for right now. But next year, that's not guaranteed.
But I mean, for right now, you're still paying a top quarterback $25 million. He just ain't starting.
Right. So, but Russell Wilson wanted that 2nd year. They said no. They're not. Denver's not on the hook for the guaranteed money next year. So let's say Russell Wilson doesn't play well. Okay, you're not bringing him back. Now you don't pick up Justin Fields' 5th-year option. You don't have any more quarterbacks for 2025. So it's going to behoove Pittsburgh to not pass up drafting a quarterback if they feel that their guy is there, Father. So this is all options are still on the table. But $25 million for Justin Fields, if you feel for that year he's your quarterback, and you don't have to sign him to a long term, that's not terrible. You could do a lot worse. Right now, the maximum amount Pittsburgh has tied up into the quarterback position right now for 2024 and 2025 is about 27 million for 2 years. That's 14 million a year for a quarterback. That is cheap. So there's those things are important. And see, look, again, Cuervo's having recency bias because no, he didn't pick it up, but did this system serve Justin Fields? Did Nagy's system serve him? Have the Bears built around him? We all know the answer is no. So Justin Fields takes some responsibility. He could have played better, yes, but he was not put in a situation.
But hold on a second. Didn't they pick up a receiver to help Fields' game up a little bit? And all of a sudden,
JJ Moore. That's what we're talking about. That guy was.
What did he do?
Right. I mean, but it takes two for that to work, though. That's what I'm saying. It takes one quarterback to throw the ball, one guy to catch the damn thing.
Right.
So I mean, and plus the fact, Justin Fields at that point was running for his life.
Yeah. So, plus, you got to have more than just one guy to deliver the ball to, and that's what I was talking about. How they're not building for the future with that guy.
I wish Cuervo was here. See, Cuervo needs to stop now. Cuervo, you need to stop. Yetzi had a few interviews, and then so did Nathaniel Hackett. He went over to the Jets after that abysmal performance with Denver. These coaches get recycled all the time.
That was a love affair between Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett. And the reason why it's a love affair is because he don't give a rat's ass what he has to say about anything. He's going to do what he wants, and he's the only offensive coordinator that will probably allow that to happen in reality without too much say.
Right, but the point is these coaches get recycled all the time. So the only one that was happier to get rid of Nathaniel Hackett than Russell Wilson was the lovely Carla, Cuervo's wife. She couldn't wait to get rid of Nathaniel Hackett, and we know that guy was terrible. And he ended up getting another job with Aaron Rodgers the next year when he has no business coaching an offense. So we can't say that, Cuervo. See, Cuervo's participating in recency bias right now.
Okay, I got a question just really quick about your Steelers. Is Mike Sullivan still a coach for this football team?
He is, but he is not the quarterback coach. He's like an offensive assistant.
Oh my God, they gave him a friggin' promotion.
No. I don't know if it's a promotion. We brought in a new quarterback coach. He's still working with the offense, even though they stayed with him because I think Kenny was on the team. So I don't think they'll let him go, but I wonder what his role will be moving forward.
I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, when you get next guy in line after Ben Roethlisberger and you're not somewhat successful, I'm not even saying the guy needs it, but this guy did drop the ball. There was a lot of dropping, but most of it has to fall up on him. And the reason being, he's the one that works with them every day. He's the one that works on technique. He's the one that just says, hey, you got to lead your receiver instead of putting it 2 feet behind him and work with his feet and work with whatever he needs to become successful. It starts with that quarterback coach. And so he's not necessarily the quarterback coach, but you don't give him a promotion based upon what he did with Kenny Pickett, regardless what he's going to do with the offense, because if he can't develop somewhat a little bit a Kenny Pickett, why are you giving this guy a promotion? Doesn't make any sense. And that's where it goes back to Mike Tomlin waiting too long to pull promotion on certain people and or players.
Well, we don't know if it's a promotion. They liked him enough to keep him on staff, but he's not the quarterback coach anymore. So maybe he's helping out with game plans, whatever, but I don't know if it's a promotion.
Sonny. But to me, that would be a promotion because he is focused up on the quarterback. Now he is involved with the whole offense. Now, to me, it's a promotion. I might be wrong. Go ahead, there, Trey.
He could just be a hell of a guy.
Say again?
He could just be a hell of a guy.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know personally, so. But hey,
I don't know.
Hey, going back to what Cuervo said earlier, though.
Which one?
Where the Steelers draft, Bo Nix kind of might fall into that same area to where. I mean, are we turning our heads to Bo Nix?
It all depends. I don't know. I don't. You know, he does some good things. I don't know if he would be the guy I would draft. You know,
is he a Steeler? You know, listen, there's a mentality of being a Steeler, okay? And I don't know anything about Bo Nix, so I'm just going to put that out there.
He's got a great name for a Steeler quarterback. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I don't know about Bo Nix. I don't know who that guy could be. I mean, we'll see. I don't know about JJ McCarthy either. Like maybe in the second round. Like if you get to the second and third round and a Penix or McCarthy is there and you want to get that guy in the room, I'm not opposed to it. Just I don't know if in the first round, if that's cool. And look, to Cuervo's point right there, no one is absolving Justin Fields. He's got to read the field better. He takes too many sacks. Like all of those things are true. He is culpable too, but like Pickett, it's an organizational failure. He shares some of the blame, but my goodness, you draft a guy at 11, you got to build around that guy. You got to commit to it to see if it works. When you never do that, it's more on the organization.
Keeping it real.
Definitely. Yeah, and if you
I don't know, Podfather. I don't know what you think.
I mean, I don't know much thing about him because I only saw him play once. But I mean, yeah, as far as a quarterback he's got some name value, a little bit of name value coming out of college.
I wish Obi was on today. I want to hear his thoughts.
Right. But I mean, going from west to east, I mean, that'd be interesting. You know, I mean, you know what? Look at Arch Manning from the University of Texas. Hadn't see the field yet. Once he gets on the field down the road, who knows what he's going to be? I mean, he's got to get the field first, though. So, I mean, I think I don't think he'll finish in Texas either. So, I think the transfer portal is going to reach out to him and grab him really quick. But, I mean, you know, I keep thinking, who's the next real quarterback for the Steelers? Because while Russell Wilson's maybe a one and done deal, unless he works out a Baker Mayfield type thing, has a spectacular year and gets an extension for the next year. By the way, if he gets an extension for the next year, what does it do to Justin Fields? Because now he's a free agent.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that part, I don't know what they're going to do. We're going to know more in May. If they don't pick up his fifth-year option, then all bets are off.
Because if Russell Wilson can play good enough to get an extension for next year, let's say he gets a 3-year, $35 million deal, right? Just kind of the same deal that Baker Mayfield got.
Sure, I can see that.
Let's say so you're committing that much to your starting quarterback. What are you doing for your backup?
Right. Then Fields wouldn't be on the team. And that's a good point by Cuervo. Remember, Kenny Pickett was Kevin Colbert's pick, not Omar Coleman. And Ryan Pace picked Justin Fields, not Ryan Poles. So right there, you add all that stuff. We should not have said Sonny was going to be drug tested because new GMs sometimes they want to go their own path and make their own.
Sonny should always be drug tested. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck with the
It's karma, son. You can't stop taking shots at the Bears, and Podfather never misses a chance to hit you with a chair shot.
Listen, but I'm an equal opportunity pot shotter, okay? Because I rip up on the Jaguars all the time. And here's what I'm just gonna say, and I know everybody. We have a good laugh about what some of the things that I say. Okay, we have a good laugh about it, and I'm okay with that because it's sports. It's supposed to be light. I'm telling you right now, the Jaguars did themselves a disservice by not getting Jimmy G. And I'm just telling you, okay? I'm just telling you which one was the better backup quarterback in the NFL. They did themselves a disservice. They made a huge mistake. And you want to talk about taking a look at the player that Trevor is compared to Mac Jones. They're not the same guy. I'm telling you right now, if you look at the way the game is played and how they play it, Jimmy G is more like Trevor than Mac Jones. Only thing the difference is age. I'm just saying. I'll put that out there. It's going. I know you got a bail right there.
No,
Do
I'm
you
on to
do you
11:30. I got 20 more minutes.
11, I heard 11, so we got you good. All right, so now that and in what he says, it happens to new guys. GMs want their guy, but listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I think when Brian Poles was brought in there, I think he was told you better figure something out here for this guy. But as the time went by, and they weren't necessarily making the big moves to become relevant now. Okay, listen, those moves they made were definitely for the future. Let's be honest. Ryan Poles is building for the future, so he didn't really jump in and grab a guy or guys that would make them ready to go and ready to play right now. Now, is that his fault? Is that the understanding of what's going on as far as the franchise is concerned? Or was there an opportunity and time to watch Justin Fields based upon the crap that they had out on the football field? Could he be successful as a quarterback? No, he was successful running the football. And there's two. And listen, you can sit there and go back and forth. He was not successful as a passing quarterback. The guy could run all day long, but guess what? That is something that comes naturally. A quarterback in the NFL has to have and has to basically learn the quarterback position all over, because the speed of the NFL is totally different than what's going on in college. And that's what they could not get with Justin Fields. That's what they could not do with Pickett. How many times did you see Pickett throw the ball behind the receiver? The speed of the game, he could not catch up to it. And those are the basics that were working. I'm going to tell you right now, if Justin Fields developed his passing game a little bit more than what he did, he could still be a Bear right now with them building around him more so than a new guy coming in and Caleb Williams.
All of that is inbounds. And look, Sonny, I'll give it to you. Yes, Jimmy G would be a better backup than Mac Jones. Sure.
Yes.
I'm not saying much, but sure. Yes. He
good points today.
Sonny, you know what, Podfather? Isn't it interesting that when it's Sonny's guy, we never hear about diva and character issues, even though Jimmy G's been suspended. He's been suspended for cheating, but Sonny Clark never brings that up.
Wait, defend that. I'm going to defend that in the chat. I'm telling you right now, Jimmy G should have been suspended for at least 4 to 6 games. In reality, he got 2 freaking games. Okay, that's not a drop on me and my guy. That's a drop on the NFL not jumping on and making sure. And that's another problem with the NFL. The NFL doesn't know anything about discipline in order to make sure the stuff doesn't happen again. Okay, so whatever you want about it, you start taking them off the field. You can take all their money. It don't matter. These guys make millions of dollars. So don't give a rat's fat ass about $1 million fine. And they'll publicly say it, but in reality, they go, that cost me only $1 million to try that. And guys that make the money, it doesn't matter. You got to get them off the freaking field.
So Sonny, you don't have character concerns about your boy Jimmy G?
No, it's steroids. Who isn't doing it? Okay, who isn't? Anybody? Hold on. I don't care about. I'm
first of all.
Listen.
First of all, hey,
about steroids. I could give a rat's fat ass about steroids. I can care less. We don't
know the steroids. We know those performance enhancing drugs. We know those steroids. It could be HGH. It could be something else. So we don't know.
I got the Podfather. I got the answer.
Let's be honest. Right. Be honest. Do you even give a rat's fat ass that these guys take this shit or not?
Listen, the fact that Sonny didn't say that this guy brings his lunch pail to work every day and do all the white quarterback terms that are.
You guys are absolutely insane. You evidently don't listen to me.
Oh my Lord!
Okay.
You know what? This is how you know.
Really quick.
Some of this stuff you just can't take serious. When it's other people, Sonny Clark is going crazy about diva behavior and character. But his guy who got caught cheating, everyone does that. We don't care about that.
Well, hold on, Bryce. Do you give a rat's fat ass that these guys are doing this shit? Do you care?
Yes, dude.
You do.
To be suspended. Yes, dude. He's missing games.
No.
It's impacting the
Okay,
team.
forget about the punishments. Forget about. Do you actually care that these guys are taking the sports enhancing drugs? Do you care?
I do
in
because
reality,
because I do because you're cheating, and number two, it's bad for your body. Like people can talk about a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff, the long-term effects that it can have on your body.
long term, yes.
Okay,
I'll
but
give you long term.
but time out. Long term effects like not getting your head bashed in play after play after play isn't already going to give you a long term effect. So look, for these guys to take these kind of precautions, I'm not saying that it's always right, but here's the thing: if he's taking this stuff to cope with an injury, I'm cool with it. Now, is he taking this to become like the next Mr. America? No, I'm not down for that. But here's the thing, Sonny, shut up. But look, I see sometimes those are like saying, I want to talk.
You can see the cogs moving right here.
Look, clearly, Sonny does sports with a bias, okay? That's what he do. We all know this. We all do. I have my own bias with the Cowboys, which is not very that great. Bryce, you're pro Steelers all the way. Sonny's pro Jags. Cuervo's is pro Bears. I get all that stuff, okay? Here's the thing. When you get down to the individual player that you have attached yourself to, I attach myself to Danny White as a Cowboy fan, okay? Danny White win Super Bowls? No. He got close, but he didn't win. I get all that. But I attach myself to him as being my guy growing up as a kid. But I also ate. Okay. So having watched the game a little bit longer now and seeing the Troy Aikmans of the world and the Quincy Carters who fell off and then everybody else who came between all that stuff, I can look at this whole thing objectively and go, look, it's the NFL. Jerry Glanville said it best. It's not for long. Okay, we're with these guys for a short amount of time and they move on. That's just how it is. Jimmy G, for some reason, him and Kirk Cousins and quarterbacks have stuck in. Now I'll say this though: if Mac Jones, okay, yeah, good for him. Okay, remember, Dex got two. Okay, but anyway, and if Mac Jones comes to the Jaguars and shows out, which I don't think he will, but if he shows out and becomes a player that Sonny can't believe who he is, he'll be the lunch pail quarterback that he's looking for. He'll be the next big thing that's going to be the big miss for 31 other teams. It's going to be so incredible to watch the turnaround that Sonny's going to have with the entire thing.
I will be the first to admit, if by the grace of God that Mac Jones becomes a superstar, I will admit. I'll admit I was wrong, but here's the thing: I don't think I'm gonna be, and that's where it lies. I'm just saying.
That's because Sonny is a sports narcissist. All right. You're a sports narcissist,
I just have it. But what Caleb Williams? I'm telling you right now. You say whatever you want. And Cuervo thinks that I evidently am hearing voices in my head about Caleb Williams. No, these are the things that are going around him. Okay, these are the things that are being said. And as I put in the chat, if it's not Caleb Williams saying it and it is his camp, he needs to burn down the frigging camp, because you don't need extra added BS when you're trying to become an NFL quarterback. These are all side distractions that none of them need, but yet he's welcoming it with open arms, and his daddy isn't helping him. Kind of reminds me of another daddy in the NFL or in the NBA that just, thinks that their kids are the cat's meow, and he hasn't proven jack squat, and I didn't push the button. I'm just saying he hasn't proven jack squat, and all of a sudden he's the second coming to Christ on a Sunday. It's unbelievable.
Sonny, calm down. This father you're talking about said his kid was as good as LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and those above him. Now, that's a high freaking bar to talk about, okay? This kid has not lived up to any of that. That's, that's reality. That's reality of what that father had to deal with this kid. You know what? He has got his blinders on. Let him have his blinders on.
I'm just saying that's not going to do Caleb Williams any. It's not going to do him any good becoming an NFL quarterback. Is having and you've seen it, okay? Where family members are out there talking about, hell, even Dak Prescott's brother won't even shut up, for God's sake. Everybody just needs to shut up and let this guy play football instead of anointing him and giving him a freaking gold jacket before he takes one goddamn snap in the NFL. It happens every year. And the 1 year wonders, oh, this guy's great. This guy's our franchise. We already seen that with one Justin Fields. I mean, Fields. So not yet. Not yet. I took my blood pressure.
How have you not had a heart attack yet? I'm wondering. I mean, because
I know it's just
you're jumping on yourself, Chris. Look,
yes.
Hey, look, we see a great example out in college football. Deion Sanders and his kid thinks his kid's the best thing in the world. You know what? He's a father. That's
I hope so, because I go back to exactly what I was talking about a little bit earlier in the show, okay? And Sanders is one of them, okay? Sanders is one of them that just cannot get the ego out of the way. They got to be the best. They're the best. They got to be the best. When obviously they're not, but yet Deion Sanders says it, then all of a sudden he is that guy. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it.
So it's time out. You're saying that every sports father should go, yeah, my kid's okay. He all right. He's not gonna be as good as the guy that I grew up with, but he'll be all right.
Listen, how many quarter? Why is he not going in the draft this year? Just ask.
Listen. Hold on a second. Every father who has an athlete as a kid looks at Earl Woods and goes, "That guy was right." Okay?
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing: Tiger Woods is an anomaly. He can't win no more. That's the thing. He was an anomaly back then. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot. I mean, you have to have that kind of encouragement for your son or daughter to achieve that kind of greatness. Now, do some parents pack it on a lot? Oh, hell yeah. It happens a lot. But it's a lot of that, you know, I'm a bleacher father who's I'm coaching from the bleachers kind of thing. You know, you get a lot of that. Look, Caleb Williams, at the end of the day, he's got to make the plays to make it
right.
If he doesn't make the plays,
everybody's talking about him like he's the second coming.
Sonny, a lot of people talk, all right, because you talk too damn much. So anyway, yeah, I said it. But look, all I'm saying is this: until he can't produce on the field, which could be the first year, could be the second year, could be the third, he could be a 13-year journeyman for all we know. But until he does not produce anything on the field, then you know what? Then we'll all sit there and go, yeah, he was a bust. But it takes time for that to happen. It takes a lot of time. The fact that we rush everything so quickly, like Justin Fields, we all think he was a bust in the draft, right? As of right now,
no way.
No, but I'm saying there are those who are going to look at him and go, he couldn't make it in Chicago, so he's gone. He's on team number 2. Give him time. Jimmy G was not. I mean, to his credit, not a bust. Then again, he was a journeyman. He sat on the sideline with Tom Brady for years. Came out west, did some decent things, 70% winning percentage. I got to give him credit for that. But he's not the end all be all. And the thing is, if he was the end all be all, the Raiders would have seen that. The Niners would have seen that. I mean, other teams would have been able to see it. And trust me, the Rams only got it for 1 year. So if the Rams are solid about him being the end all be all quarterback that Sonny thinks he is, then he'd be starting ahead of the quarterback. But he's not. He's just backing up. He's backing him up. Man,
exactly. He's the best backup quarterback in the NFL, and he has been for the last 4 years.
He's only Andy Dalton, sir. But no, I'm just kidding. I can't get back there with a smile. Look, this whole free agency thing has blown up so huge. This is almost as big as the NFL draft now. Almost as big, because now we're seeing second. Yeah, busting Fields. Yeah, I mean we're not saying. I mean, you think about it. This is the NFL draft times 2, because now we've seen these players in the NFL. We want to see where they're going to go, and now they're going to get a different star, different team, different everything else, right? So this is why the NFL is such a 365 sport. You know, even during the offseason, we're talking about it because there's so many moves and willing and dealings going on that we just love to see. Unless you're the Cowboys, you don't see any of that shit. But but you see for the other teams. So, but like I said, I mean, the Cowboys kind of don't do much in free agency these days. So, but look, I'm excited to see Sonny get excited about this because he's gonna get all built up. Come on, Bryce. We gotta build this thing for him. He's gonna be all, oh my God! I mean, Jimmy G's gonna be the best quarterback in the league. I mean, it's so great to watch you still.
Best backup quarterback in the NFL. Get it right.
Until he starts.
Right. Now, would I love for him to be one of the best starters? I would love that. I would, but sometimes you have got to delegate where you're going to be. And Jimmy G has adjusted to that delegation. And I'm sorry, Marcus Mariota. Okay, all right. Guess what? He's in the NFL right now. Okay, he's on a football team. So now, good, bad, or indifferent, it is just the way that it is. Marcus Mariota signs what with the Raider, or no? Who was it with?
The Commanders.
Wait. I think I have it here. Mariota. He signs with the Commanders, with a team that's doing a lot of moving right now, as far as that is concerned. So, interestingly enough, but I will say this. Jimmy G and Marcus Mariota, I got more love for Jimmy G. I think he's better, but I always like Marcus Mariota. You want to talk about a team that let him down, that being the Titans,
Speaking of which, the Seahawks acquired Sam Howell from the Commanders. So
exactly. Yeah, that's a big thing. Matter of fact, looking at that, this is what they got. So I wanted to ask Bryce this question. You get Sam Howell over there for the Seattle Seahawks. Has he just become your starting quarterback, or are they going to keep their guy? What's his name? Geno Smith. Are they going to keep Geno? And I'm asking seriously. I don't know.
No. This is a loaded question. You're just asking this to troll us. Why in the world would Sam Howell start over Geno Smith? The only reason
I'm not saying he should.
Geno can't play.
Oh, no. You back that up just really quick. I asked that seriously because I think, as far as Seattle is concerned, okay, if you got this guy to replace Geno Smith, you need to be drug tested. Yeah, I just said it about Geno Smith, okay? I watched Sam Howell. This guy sucks. And if they decided that this is going to be the new franchise, then they're making a huge mistake. Yeah, I cannot even believe I'm saying this about Geno freaking Smith. But guess what? He's the only option right now in Seattle, so they better keep it. The only chance that they have an opportunity to win with Sam Howell or Geno Smith, it has to be Geno Smith. Hey, listen, I'm not afraid to admit that I was a little wrong about Geno Smith. Okay, just a little wrong. He is still Geno Smith. Okay, he still is not the end all to get all, but he's definitely better than Sam Howell.
I'm glad he woke up and realized that he's still Geno Smith. He wake up and go, holy shit, I'm Jimmy G. Sonny must like me now.
Oh, Jimmy G would be a better starting quarterback, but that's another story for another day. And the drug test that Bryce would want me to say for making that statement. But that's I just think he's better. Listen, I just look at talent a little bit different than most. I don't fall in love with the new flavor. I don't fall in love because he's the new guy. I know you're good, you're not so good, you're bad. And you're mediocre. Those are the ones I look at. Listen, Geno Smith is mediocre. Guess what?
That's mediocre.
He is mediocre, but he is the best backup quarterback in the NFL. Let me ask you this: you think Geno Smith would rather have Geno Smith than Sam Howell? As a backup, of course you would. Any other football team in the NFL, they want him. I'm telling you right now. Okay, let me just say average teams, because let's be honest, the Seattle Seahawks are an average football team, and that's because they got an average quarterback that actually is, making plays. There's something about being a good quarterback and some that just fits the mold. And I'm going to tell you right now. Losing their head coach, Pete Carroll, is going to destroy that relationship. That relationship was Geno Smith, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's gone. Now they better figure out a new love affair to keep Geno Smith to be somewhat average and win some football games. Maybe they could come out of the NFC West. But if they don't, that's going to be a problem. So I think there was a good And I think I know the reason why. And I'll just throw this out to Bryce. I think the reason why is that Pete Carroll, when they grabbed him up, fell in love with him and said, "Here's the reins." And outside of the Jets, when he was drafted, the only team that did it, and that's where the love affair came from. And you got a better product from him because of how he felt about the franchise. Will that will that love change?
Bryce, I'm reading here right now. Jimmy G has said that he will change his game. He'll be a running quarterback from now on.
He is a mobile quarterback. That's what helps him. The fact that he can move, because standing in the pocket and delivering is not great.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. He's a mobile quarterback. I'm just saying the relationship on why he got that job in the first place is big. I'm telling you that love affair with Pete Carroll. Listen, Pete Carroll does, and I've said this before, and if you haven't listened, that's fine. You just didn't hear it. Pete Carroll does so much with average. He really does. And he's only proved that the last 3 years as a head coach. He's taken the average and they've been winning football games. Now, granted, is it enough to take them through the playoffs and make a big run in the playoffs? No. But winning football games is a big thing in the NFL.
Right, which is, you know what? You know what? Sonny is Mr. Selective on what he does, because they like to throw shots at Mike. What he just described sounds a lot like Mike Tomlin. But yet Pete Carroll was like, oh, yeah, you know.
Oh, wait. When's the last time When's the last time Mike Tomlin got the best out of anybody right now? Okay, last 3 years.
Oh, my Lord. They went, what? What? They went 10-7 with that quarterback room. And
you
what?
What
is he talking? What are you talking about, Sonny? Sonny, did you get hit with a 2x4 this morning?
Maybe
you in the head with a 2x4.
Maybe refresh my memory, because maybe it wasn't so impactful enough to where it remained in my brain. A lot of things don't stay up there, so it's got to be an impact.
Concussion protocol. There should be a concussion
protocol. Pete Carroll is a lunchbox coach that comes to the team, and he's packing it for the entire day, right?
I hate Pete Carroll. Wait a second. But since when has Sonny Clark been a Pete Carroll fan? Listen, I'm telling you right now, I can't stand the guy, but he does a lot with it. I don't know what he does. Okay, I don't know what he does. He finds a way to make that connection with those players, and they figure it out. I'm just trying to figure out when was the last time Mike, and I'm serious, when was the last time Mike Tomlin really elevated, his football team, with average players?
You saw that offense with Matt Cannon and the quarterbacks. They won 10 games. Sonny, is the AFC North one of the toughest, maybe the toughest division in football?
I would say so.
5-1 in the division. What are you talking, Sonny? You are concussed. You should be in the media concussion protocol, the MCP. We need to put you in the MCP and have you tested.
Well, let's see, Cuervo.
Thank you. What is Sonny? Sonny is just gone.
I just, like I said, maybe it hasn't been enough to where I've noticed. All I know is that I don't see Steelers, being Steelers.
The game, right?
Yeah. Listen, the Steelers haven't been playing up the snuff for the last 4 years, and if you don't believe that, you're not watching football. Period.
One thing Sonny is not mentioning right now: Calvin Ridley going to the Titans, leaving the Jaguars.
I love it.
No, that hurts the Jaguars. I'm telling you right now, it hurts them. Okay, they get 1 year where he's on suspension for his bogus gambling bull crap, but he broke the rules. I think the punishment was too much. So I think he should have been. But that year is a complete wash for the guy. They give him 1 year to try to figure out some chemistry between him and Trevor, and it was beginning towards the end of the season. They didn't do enough to try to re-sign him. Listen, the Jaguars dropped the ball on Calvin Ridley. They should have kept him. He is the reason why I invented the term step up number 2 wide receiver. He's a step up number 2 when he was at doing what he was doing. In other words, he was a guy that you had to worry about outside of your number 1. because if you pay too much to your number one, Calvin Ridley will burn you. And he only proved it in Atlanta, when they were paying too much attention to the other guy.
What's your thoughts about the Jaguars signing Eric Armstead?
I'm sorry, you broke up when you said that.
Well, no, you broke me up, sir. No. What's your thoughts about the Jacksonville Jaguars signing Eric Armstead?
Okay. Listen, there are a lot of moves that are made in free agency where you go, okay. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what can end up happening.
This from one day ago. Will the 49ers trade Brandon Ayuk to the Jaguars for a 17th round pick or 7th pick?
Ooh, I would love to have him. That I like, but what draft pick? What round?
No, it'd be the first.
Guys, I've got to head on out, but this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, this has been good, and always good to see you, Bryce.
Thank you, Father, for bringing some normalcy and sense to this madness.
I'm trying my best, sir. Sir, I'm in this fight with you, sir. You know that, okay? I mean, they bring the Sandy back to Sonny that I don't think you really had. Don't worry about that. No. Anyway, he's the 17th pick in the draft.
Got to go, fellas.
Gotcha.
Great. All right.
Good to see you, Bryce. We'll catch you whenever next time you're able to get on. Maybe there'll be some moves this week here in free agency that'll help and try to pull you back in here.
Cowboys won't make any. There'll be negative moves.
Good to see you, Bryce. Welcome back. So what were you saying right before he had to bail? Say that again.
No, okay. They're saying, there's a question. Will the 49ers trade Brandon Ayuk to the Jaguars for the 17th pick in the draft? Would you give that up?
Pick in the draft? What pick?
17th.
Oh, I think that's giving up too much to get him. I would love to see a nuke on that football team, don't get me wrong, but I think that's too much. But then again, the Jaguars have been known to do stupid things like sign Christian Kirk and reset the wide receiver money. And he's been good, but he hasn't been that good with the money that he signed for, and they're just stuck with him. He's played just enough for him not to cut him, and keep him. So hopefully he takes a step up with a nuke. That'd be great, but the 17th pick, that would not be a smart move in my personal opinion.
But think about that. I mean, you lose Calvin Ridley.
Yes.
Who was growing up. Who was growing on the.
I agree.
And you pick up Brandon Ayuk. That's not a bad. You're swapping the first round pick. Your first round pick.
I don't know. No, wait. They're swapping. Where does that? So the Jaguars have number 17. They get a nuke and they get a nuke and a draft pick.
No.
If it's straight up, no. If they get the draft pick, you make the move. I think.
I mean,
you get a nuke and a draft pick, you make the move. I think, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think the Niners give a pick.
I would love to see a nuke. There's some players I would love to see on the Jaguars. Buda Baker is one. That was one of my wishes. I'd love to see him at safety for the Jaguars, and they need some help in the safety position in reality. So I would love to see that move. And plus, even though you're going to pay him, you're going to get a guy that will step up. He'll be on a different football team. The Arizona Cardinals suck. Everybody knows it, even him. And so it'd be at least a pot more of a better situation for him, maybe.
What would you trade instead to get some Stephon Diggs?
Well, that's what we had that in as far as a clip there. Stephon Diggs. If he is out and about, God, I listen. Jaguar, every team that has a wide receiver need, if they're not picking up the phone to get Stephon Diggs, they're making a mistake.
But here's the thing:
Stephon Diggs is arguably top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
But my question: what would you give up? Because that's
a good question.
Because he's not a free agent. This is all about trade. So, what are you willing to give up to get him?
That's a good question. Now, a nuke or Stephon Diggs? Give me Stephon Diggs, and I might take that 17th pick. I might. That might be because I look at guys and I wonder how they're only getting a fourth or fifth round draft pick for a guy that's starting that is a stud, but they only get the fourth or fifth rounder. I don't get half of it. I don't get. But Stephon Diggs, listen, Stephon Diggs is a different kind of talent at the wide receiver, more so than a young guy that you can get in the draft. I don't know if Marvin Harrison's going to be good in the NFL. All things lead to that, seeing how his daddy was there and he had somewhat of a pretty good college. If he makes the adjustment from college to NFL wide receiver, then maybe that would be good. That he can be a franchise type wide receiver for a football team immediately. I never expect anything from rookies, regardless what position they play, except offensive line. Defensive line, they still got to learn some things. Offensive line, you just stop the guy in front of you. So it's a little bit different. I don't know. I think it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they trade that 17 pick for Stephon Diggs, as far as the Jaguars are concerned.
Okay, so you have no problem trading the 17th pick for Diggs, but you question to do that for what's his name, Anuk, or the guy from the Niners.
Say again?
Really, you know that? Okay. You have no problem trading the 17th pick for Stephon Diggs.
Well, right? That's because he's a proven talent at a young age.
Okay, but Brandon Ayuk, who's younger than Stephon Diggs, has balled out this last year for sure. You wouldn't give the 17th pick for him?
No, probably not. Listen, I'm saying I like him, but listen, who's better, Diggs or Ayuk? Come on. I don't think that's even an argument. Is that even an argument? I think you're giving too much credit to Ayuk.
Well, first of all, I'm looking at the wear and tear on a player, right? Especially a wide receiver. Diggs has got a lot. Cuervo says enough. So
I know that, and I'm not going to argue. I just I think Ayuk is good. I just don't think I don't think he's as good as Stephon Diggs, and that one. Like I said, I could be wrong about that one, but I think if I want a guy that's going to be able to step in and make some moves and be a guy, I think that's Stephon Diggs. I think, and I could be wrong about Ayuk. I think Ayuk is good, but I think if I had my choice, I'd rather have Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to be upset if they go get him. The 17th pick. It's one of those weird picks, okay? Because you're starting moving down and stuff like that. And depending really on who you have on your team, if you have a listen, the Jaguars have holes, but they don't have gaping holes, I don't think. So if they traded it away, I completely get it. But I just, and it all depends on what you think your talent is out there too, because there have been a lot of moves where you're just scratching your head. As far as that is concerned, you got the Giants picking up Drew Lock, for God's sake. If you're a Giant fan, you got to feel really safe. Dallas Cowboy fans are loving this pick because they're hoping that Drew Lock becomes some starter sometime, whether it's Jones that can't get the job done or he gets hurt and then they need him. So that's an interesting things over there. So Diggs over. Okay, so here's what Cuervo says. Cuervo says Diggs over Ayuk. Yeah. So, but he says neither one of them are worth the 17th pick, and that just depends upon. And I get what he is saying, because where some of these guys where you think are really good players and they're getting draft picks going to a different team, and you wonder why they got only a fourth rounder out of them when the guy's a stud. I'm not really good at judging those things per se, as far as that. And there's a team that does need to draft a quarterback, but Jones, just part of some of the things I read, Jones is going to actually be the starter, and then Drew Lock probably will be number 3 in reality for that football team as they move forward. Because he's not costing them any money in reality. So it's really all about this. And in backup quarterbacks, look at this, Gardner Minshew. He gets signed up. He's going to back up over there. And as far as the Raiders, go ahead there, Trey.
So he's taking over the spot that Jimmy G had.
Jimmy G did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Honestly, I'm all for the Giants keeping their quarterback because we put up 40 against him on opening night last year, so I'm cool with that. Um,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, Daniel Jones, he has won the ownership over somehow, some way. 2 years ago, I'm sure they're kind of regretting
Yeah.
that right now, but
Yes.
uh, but they're paying him a lot of money and they just can't get rid of him. So
And no one's going to take it, and they are not going to be willing to do what the Broncos did with Russell Wilson, which is, suck up all of it. They might as well, if they're going to pay him that much, they might as well keep him, kind of thing. That's a
you
different
know what? Hey,
mentality.
hey, going back to your conversation about divas and egos and everything else,
Yes.
we're coming up on year number 2 of Aaron Rodgers being with the Jets.
Hmm.
And now, whether we get a second year out of him or not, that's up for debate whether he can actually last more than 4 plays. But let's say he does. All right. What
Okay.
do we think? What do we think about the Jets, given all the moves they've made, given the fact that they've upgraded their offensive line to an extent,
Right.
unless Smith goes out injured, um, they they upgraded a few things. What's your thoughts about the New York Jets, and are they going to be the Super Bowl caliber team that everybody picked to be last year, or are we just going to be like middle of the road type team?
Well, yeah, Vice President Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I don't know because guess what? It never came to pass. We didn't really see it. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as that is concerned. Oh, there is no question that Sharon Rogers is a diva. Okay, there is no question he is. But here's
Mhm.
the difference between Sharon Rogers and all the other divas. Okay, he's got something to back it up. The guy has been the MVP for how many years?
Oh, yeah.
He was
Oh, yeah.
MVP before Lamar, 2 times before that. The guy's got some. He's got some credentials. So being a diva and you're Aaron Rodgers, it's almost like an earned diva. You're still a diva, but you can understand why someone treats you that way. I get it.
Mhm.
I want to see the talent before we make you a diva, which everybody wants to make. Yes, Caleb Williams is going to probably be a bear. Okay, but I don't want to anoint this guy yet. Okay, he is wanting to be a diva. He wants to be a diva because of the way that he has put it out there. Yes, I did. Sharon Rogers, I did. I did that for you, by the way. So Cuervo, but Aaron Rodgers is a different monster. This guy, and also take a look at the money he's making. The guy's making $52 million a year. Okay, so listen, someone knows where the talent is, and as much as I dislike Sharon Rogers, okay, I can't stand him. When he is out on the football field, that guy makes plays, especially at the end of the football game. So Diva, he should be able to get pretty much what he wants. But as far as where the Jets are going to be next year, we don't know because we didn't get an opportunity to see any chemistry against anybody develop at all. It's not like we got like 2 or 3 games with Aaron Rodgers and went,
Right.
oh my God, this guy's
We
going to
got
be
two or
the
three plays.
savior. We don't know.
And we got 2 or 3 plays with them, really.
There you go. So, but but think about this. As far as guys that are moving, I mean, we talked about it. I mean, but here's one that no one. I heard this once. If the Chiefs make room for Justin Jefferson, I'm gonna
Mhm.
next time I'm in Vegas, I will put some money down on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. This is one of those moves that changes the whole landscape of who your football team is. When you
Right.
got generational wide receiver with generational quarterback, with generational tight end, with an offensive line that would give their life to protect Patrick Mahomes, even though they still need to do a little work on that offensive line. There's nobody that is going to beat the Chiefs, not because they're going to just run all over them, because if they got a chance to win with that roster at the end of the football game, they're going to win football games. You can turn the TV off because that's just the way it works. If they need a field goal, Justin Jefferson and Patrick Mahomes are going to get it. If they need a touchdown, they're going to get it. It reminds me of what happened when Tom Brady was a quarterback.
If Justin Jefferson goes to the Chiefs or any other team for that matter, what does that do to the Vikings?
Oh, listen, the Vikings have pretty much handed over that they are going to suck this year, and obviously, but that being said, I have not looked deep as far as the Vikings are concerned, but they're going to miss if they get rid of Justin Jefferson. You might as well consider the Vikings number 3 within this or number 4 within this division, because I think the Lions are better. I think the Bears are better, especially with the moves that the Bears are making in reality. And Green Bay, they're just figuring out quarterback position. Guess what? As soon as they figure out who and that will make him even better, it's going to be horrible.
Well, question: if you had to put the NFC North in how they finish next year, based on what we know now, what would you? How would you do it?
Just because we don't know how the chemistry will work with the Bears, I think they finish second in the division. You got to beat the Lions, but
Green Bay's tough.
Was last year a fluke with Jordan Love? That's where you got to ask yourself the question, because in reality, this is really Jordan Love's first year in the NFL as a starter, and defensive coordinators, will they figure him out? I don't know. I don't know, man. Where Green Bay? God, that's a tough one. Maybe and Cuervo don't want to hear this, but maybe I move Green Bay up into second within this division.
I mean, I can see the Bears and Green Bay.
Green Bay went and got somebody. They went and got their running back. I mean, they got.
Yeah.
And that's an upgrade. Say whatever you want. I mean, but that's an upgrade.
It is.
And they had a good one. I forget the guy's name, but they had a pretty good one. And he went somewhere else. So,
was AJ Dillon?
Yeah. No. Yeah, AJ. Well, was it Dillon? Was his last name? But I know
AJ Dillon hasn't picked a team yet. In fact, he's looking at the Cowboys right now. But that's what they all say.
Yeah,
that's what they all say.
But it's in the talks.
Yeah, they're talking. He's buying a house right now, as we say. No,
exactly. Yeah.
He's gonna go by he's gonna go by their house they trying to buy out there not too long ago.
Well, yeah, but the Cowboys can't seem to get anything right. I mean, and here it is. It's Aaron Jones went to Minnesota. You're right, Cuervo. Thank you for that. Yeah, but I mean, the Cowboys can't even get Derrick Henry. According to Derrick Henry's camp, they didn't even contact him. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you drop the ball on that deal. If that is a true statement, that's horrible.
But if they didn't have the money to do it, then there's also that, because once again, they saw other running backs go earlier on and going for a lot more than what they had.
Trey. This is the Dallas Cowboys. They can give a shit about how much money it is. If they think that if they trust the guy enough to do it, that is. Now, what you may prove you right is and I don't have the placard for this, is that they're thinking about bringing back Feed Me More. That if I am right about the Dallas Cowboys spending money for the talent, and they didn't see it in Derrick Henry, but they want to go ahead and bring this guy back. Now, granted, he's not going to get Derrick Henry money, but he's going to be back in Dallas where familiar areas. I just think that would be the 2 weeks before training camp signing more so than getting them now and paying them money. I think
because he ain't going to training camp now.
Right. That's because he's proven that he doesn't want to do that kind of stuff. Now, look at this one right here. I mean, backup quarterbacks in demand. Jacoby Brissett. Yes, I would have rather had Jacoby Brissett in Jacksonville. Yes, I just said it, and I would, and I cannot stand Jacoby Brissett. But backup quarterback, yes. And by the way, you want to talk to a guy that's won some football games? Jacoby Brissett has won some football games and taken a team to a playoffs. So, it's all about what you control. And my Jaguars go get a Saxy Mustang. How about this? Saxony Mustangs here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Our coverage happening this Duvernay. They went ahead and get this guy. This guy's electric, and they're going to get him. They got him for nothing. So I think that is a great pickup for them. But another backup quarterback, Joe Flacco, or will he start Joe Flacco over in the Indianapolis Colts, for God's sake?
Who's the starter right now?
So say again?
Who's the starter right now? Who's the Colts starter right now?
That's a good question. It's that rookie that they picked up, in the draft last year. I can't remember his name, but he got hurt. And maybe Cuervo, maybe the comment that he has will be Richardson. Richardson was the one that got hurt. Thank you, Cuervo. Always the right hand man. I appreciate that because I'm lucky to get it from my brain down to my mouth. But I forgot that guy's name. But I don't know what I think about Anthony Richardson right now. I mean, he got hurt early on. Will he be this? But I mean, if you're going to have a backup, Joe Flacco is the guy, and arguably he might even be, based upon his performance for the Browns, he could have put himself in a position where he may start because of the injury, might keep Richardson out for the first 6 weeks. So he may start. They might have to make a decision about him.
Their quarterback pool right now is Anthony Richardson, who's questionable, Joe Flacco, and Sam Ehlinger from Texas.
Yeah, I'm not Ehlinger. If he got the opportunity to play, maybe he could develop his talent. I like Ehlinger. I know, and I actually know who he is. Obviously, he is in Texas, so I kind of knew him. But if you don't get NFL reps, and the more time that you don't, and you're just a guy when you're Jack, it really hurts your career in reality.
Well, first of all,
we've only seen that.
First of all, most Texas quarterbacks don't make it very far in the NFL.
Listen, you're not. I know exactly what you're talking about. So, by the way, your guy, the one you wanted.
I know.
This is Washington. I mean, Washington. I listen. You have a right to be pissed off because if anybody had Dallas Cowboy in them, it's Bobby Wagner. That guy's the stud. And the Dallas Cowboys dropped the ball on this guy. I'm telling you right now, the Dallas Cowboys missed that. And you want to know another guy that the Washington Commanders picked up that the Dallas Cowboys should have picked up? Austin Eckler. That was, and you want to talk about low cost. They didn't spend they spent some, but not a lot of money, and the Dallas Cowboys could have matched it easily. And Eckler, he is that running back that runs out of the backfield, and you can pass him the friggin' ball. Eckler is a big time miss for your Dallas Cowboys, man. I'm telling you right now. But
it depends what his health status is like because he's been very injury prone as well. So
right, well, yeah, I get it. But
I mean, once again, you go out and spend X amount of money on a 1-year deal for a player like that, and all of a sudden he's only good for until September.
Yeah, Austin Eckler proved it. I mean, this guy played on the Chargers for God's sake and was successful. Could you imagine that he gets on a football team that is successful and they can utilize his talents? Now, I don't know what to think about the Washington Commanders next year. I mean, they are loaded. They loaded themselves up. Now, the question is will they be able to bring the team together to be successful on the football field? In other words, is that chemistry going to be there? That's always going to be the big question in reality when you make those big moves and you make good moves. Will they put it together for the football field? And that's going to be the biggest question. But
he's there for 2 years. So
yep.
2 years ago,
So now my guy, you say it's my guy. No, I'm just saying. Listen, Falcons. The Falcons had the opportunity to get Justin Fields. Why didn't they not do that? Instead, they end up with Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins is the one that signs the big old contract. I mean, for God's sake, and we're looking at the money that is being made. But here's the difference. And Cam Newton needs to be bitch slapped. Okay, I just said it. I don't care what anybody says. Cam Newton is the most jealous guy ever because NFL football teams didn't agree with his talent of himself. Now, granted, it's something to be said about a guy that believes in himself and he deserves whatever he does, but it's another that actually get anybody else to believe it. Okay, and listen, Cam Newton is not. He is so jealous of Kirk Cousins. He is so jealous of Kirk Cousins. He is so jealous of any football team that or football player at the quarterback position that is playing and him not. So it's really sad to see where Cam Newton has brought himself to that. And by the way, I watch his podcast just so I can listen to him make a fool of himself. I mean, it's bad enough listening to myself make an idiot of myself. You can go watch Cam Newton, and you think I'm an idiot? Watch this guy's podcast. I'm telling you right now, it's god awful.
Dude, I'm on the bet that he's more pissed off at Jacoby Brissett for having the chance to go play for the Patriots than he is for Kirk
Well,
Cousins going to Atlanta.
well, hold on. He already went to the New England and couldn't get the job done.
But different head coach. So I'm saying. I mean
And that's a good point. That's a huge point. Could he have been better with a different type of coach? That you very very interesting point. Did he come out and say something about Jacoby Brissett? And I didn't hear it, and I might not have.
no.
Okay.
I'm just saying if Jacoby Brissett can get a job playing for the Patriots and Cam Newton can't, what does it say about
Well,
Cam Newton?
I listen. And that is the point. And by the way, how many years now has he been out of the league? I mean, we're hearing about
this almost Colin Kaepernick.
exactly.
Like
Exactly.
everybody still thinks Colin Kaepernick can still play football. I'm like,
By the way, and I'm just going to say it. And by the way, Sonny with SONNY Clark24 at gmail.com. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to say it. Okay. And for all the Colin Kaepernick, listen, I was on Colin Kaepernick's bandwagon for what he was doing. But listen, if you haven't played in the NFL for as long as he has played, I don't give a rat's fat ass how great of shape he's in. This guy can't carry any of almost the rookies' jobs. Yeah, I just said it. I would like to see him in there, but this guy, I'm telling you right now, he needs to shut his mouth. He's not good enough.
First of all, he should put his money where his mouth is, and go sign with the Rocks League, and say, "Look, I can still play. Let me show you." Then introduce teams to the fact that he can still play. Then go to the NFL if that's the case. But because he won't make that step, and it's been how many years have gone by? How many spring leagues have come across, and he has done nothing of that?
I agree with you a little bit. I agree with you a little bit because we're talking different types of money, though. Okay, when you're talking those leagues, I get that. I get what you're saying for him to go prove himself. But listen, Colin Kaepernick doesn't need. If he's going to get hurt, you want to get hurt making some money. Okay, and you're not going to be making any money playing for the Brahmas. Okay, it's just not going to happen. Okay, but if you're going to get hurt and you're going to get well taken care of, you sign with an NFL football team. Which, by the way, if the guy had a lick of ounce of talent, and that goes for Cam Newton as well as Colin Kaepernick, they would be on a roster. Or just a simple fact, and this is only brought on by themselves, is their mouth keeps them off of a football team. I don't even care what they're saying. They don't want the drama on that football team, and that's just what happens.
At the end of the day, if it comes down to these players need to go and make their money, they're NFL players. They can find a way to make their money.
You would think.
Endorsements, through a sports agent they still have, any possible way, right? I mean, can you imagine Colin Kaepernick back in the day when he could actually play as an arena football player? Not that he make any money playing that, but I'm saying,
None.
I mean, he would definitely take that league to a different level. A guy like Cam Newton would do the same thing, but because their ego, going back to your ego thing, is so high, they played the highest level, and now, I mean, look, Kurt Warner learned earlier on, look, in order for me to get into the pros, I got to start somewhere. Now you got two players who can't even get onto a pro team. If they were ever serious about getting back on the pro football team, they got to start somewhere. They didn't start anywhere. They bitched and moaned and complained, and no one picked them up. So that's on them. I mean, there are so many different avenues. The spring league is a second chance league. Any spring league is. You know, the CFL. Look at Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie, he.
Well, he started there. Him
But
and what's his nose?
He started with the Bears, and then after the Bears got rid of him, he went to the CFL and blew it up.
Cuervo, verify that for me. I could have sworn he went to Canada first, and I could be wrong because I'm often am. But even if he did go to the Bears and then went up to Canada, you're right on what you're saying. He proved himself while he was there. But then again, we're also looking at a different day and age when Doug Flutie did that. If that actually happened, then you might be right.
Damn, he's 61 years old. See here. He played 12
seasons. He's pushing boner pills.
No, we all are. He played 12 seasons in the NFL, 8 seasons in the Canadian Football League, and 1 season in the USFL League. And so
yes, I remember the USFL. Mm-hmm.
So let's see here.
Who was he drafted by?
Okay, he was drafted in 1985, round 11, pick number 285. He was. Let's see. He first went to the New Jersey Generals in the USFL.
Okay.
Then because he was drafted by the Bears, he went to the Bears from 86 to 87. Then he went to the Patriots from 87 to 89. Then to British Columbia Lions from 90 to 91. Calgary Stampede from 92 to 95. Toronto Argonauts from.
He bounced around in those lower leagues before the NFL dragged him up.
Then he came back to the NFL and played for the Bills from 98 to 2000. Then the Chargers from 2001 to 2004. Then he finished up with the Patriots 2005. Again, I mean, 3-time Grey Cup champion, 3-time Grey Cup MVP, 6-time CFL's most outstanding player, NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 1998, the 4-time Jeff Nicklin Memorial Trophy, 91-94, the 2-time Terry Estefan Trophy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a Pro Bowl for 98.
But those were back in the days where guys were willing to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. We live in a different day and age where these young people and these young players, they're touted as the next big thing, regardless what position or where they are.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Should Doug Flutie be in the Hall of Fame?
No. Okay. Why should he? Now, hold on. Okay, well, that just all depends on what you think, okay? Now, think about this just really quick, okay? When Kurt Warner was put in the Hall of Fame, they didn't put up the Iowa Barnstormers in his teams that he played for. No. They only put the NFL teams up there. So if you want to say that he is a Hall of Fame, based upon his whole career, whether it was the Generals or all the teams that he played in Canada before he came to the NFL, I think you could actually have an argument for him to be in the Hall of Fame. But usually it's all about the NFL, not about anything else.
Okay, well, hold on a second. He is a former WWE 24/7 champion. But
who was?
Doug Flutie.
Was he?
Yeah. He was inducted to the Canada Sports Hall of Fame in 2007.
See, and he should be. Yeah. And he should be. There's no question.
Okay. Now, as far as numbers,
he's in the Boston College. He's in Boston College's Hall of Fame.
Shut up. Let everybody talk. All right. NFL stats. Passing yardage for 14,715. That's the NFL. CFL. He was 41,355.
I was going to say he threw out his mind.
Yeah. His touchdown interception ratio in the NFL was 86 to 68, and the CFL was 270 over 155.
I think you got a good argument about him in the Hall of Fame. But you have to include everything.
If this is the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it doesn't say the NFL Hall of Fame. The Pro Football Hall of Fame.
The Iowa Barnstormers were the Pro Football, and guess what? They didn't put their logo up on Kurt Warner's Hall of Fame thing.
Because
I did it. I put it in the graphic and I put it back up.
Right, but understand though, arena football plays 50 yards. CFL
I get it.
plays over 100. So
I get it.
yeah. So I
You're
mean,
you're just preaching to the choir. I know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, he was you want to go so far back into the USFL? He was 13 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That had been a high difference there.
Guy's stud. There's no question.
Yeah. So, but no, he was
I
drafted by.
would probably, if you based it all on all that information, he probably should be it.
He's a former WWE 24/7 and 24/7 champion. I
Hey
mean,
man,
come on.
that's enough to bring it home. I'm telling you right now, that might push him over the edge, as far as that's concerned. So,
Right.
but by the way, the Cousins deal. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a report out by the NFL that they are looking into tampering. But here's the thing:
They
after
all
you
do
pay
that.
a guy like you're paying Kirk Cousins and partly, do you really care about getting fined for tampering? That's the reason why if they take that seriously, they'll take a draft pick away, and a good one too, not just a sixth rounder. No one gives a shit about the sixth rounder. Just ask Cuervo. No, and if Cuervo's excited about that sixth round pick for Justin Fields, he's crazy because that wasn't enough. Okay. And I'm even saying that. A guy who's
You know
not
what
a
though?
Justin Fields fan,
Hey,
that wasn't enough.
hey, hey! Look. People like Brock Purdy, and even for that matter, Tom Brady have ruined the 6th round pick, the 7th round pick for a
I
lot of other
agree with
teams.
you. Yes,
So
they have.
I mean, it happens.
It's hard to find that diamond in the rough that is going to just totally turn your franchise around. Okay, you don't find those guys, and if and when you can, hey, if the Bears find it in the sixth round, congratulations. But I'm saying most of the time they don't even make the freaking team. So
I
there you go.
just out of curiosity, when when Tom Brady, now this is years ago, obviously, it's over 20 years ago, when Tom Brady was first drafted in the NFL, right? And he became the mandatory starter because Bledsoe went down injured. What was your thoughts about him when he was just blowing it up at that point?
Well, see, here's the thing. I have had the same opinion about rookie quarterbacks that I've had my whole life. They don't mean anything to me until you prove something to me.
But did
Okay,
he prove
guess what?
in? But
He came in and slowly built it up and he proved it to me. I never was a Tom Brady fan, like, oh God, this is the second coming.
right,
He was a rookie. No one gives. And listen, I know I'm in the minority. I don't give a shit about Caleb Williams. I don't give a shit about any of those guys because guess what? They normally come in and take at least 2 to 3 years to develop, and I don't give a shit about them because their teams are going nowhere. That being said, that dude down in Houston, okay, he turned that franchise around as a rookie. He's the only one that made me eat my words about things like that. Okay. Outside of that, you can't tell me that any other NFL quarterback that has come in besides Patrick Mahomes that has turned and made, how many quarterbacks have been drafted in the first round? There's only two of them that's been worth the shit in the last 20 years. So there you go. I mean, within the first 2 or 3 years that they played. Let me just rephrase that so you
right.
don't think I need to be drug tested. They don't do
No, I still
anything in
think
the
that
first
they
few
are.
years, and they shouldn't because they got to learn the speed. They got to learn the game, and it's so different. And by the way, the next one that says that the college football is comparable to the NFL, I'm going to punch them in the mouth because they don't know football and they shouldn't be talking. I now, granted, I shouldn't be talking a lot
Listen,
either, but I know enough to know that that's a big deal in the NFL.
listen. I have a big question for you though, and this is bigger than the NFL. Okay,
Okay.
when are you gonna dye your beard?
Oh, I do
A
have
bet,
that. Are you
a
ready?
bet, a bet's a bet. So I'm saying.
No, and I'm going to do the bet. I would listen. One thing I don't do is Welsh on bets. I don't
Okay,
do that. Now it might take me a while to get to it, but I don't Welsh on bets. And here's what I'm going to say. I want a certain type of dye for this, and the reason being is because of the nose. I did this, when I did the beard before, it killed my nostrils. I gotta find the ones that won't kill my nostrils. So, and as
okay.
soon as I find it, I'll let you know. But I'm hoping that I can get it, but I will do it for 4 straight weeks, whether it's the start of the month
That's
or
when
the
I get
middle
my
of the month.
plaque
I'll
too.
do
By
it.
the way. 2026 when I get my plaque.
I saw that. Yeah, I will do it before. I will do it before
Which will
training
happen
camp. So
first? I
let's
get my
just do
plaque
that.
first. I get my plaque first, or you dye the beard. What happens first?
Say that again.
What happens first? I get the plaque first, or you dye your beard?
You get to what first?
I get my plaque first for winning the regular season last year, or you dye
Man,
your
it's
beard
gonna be
first.
close. It's gonna be
Right?
close. So yeah, there you go.
But
So yeah,
but
but you
but
hey
but
Tarvin got his. Well, I kind of held it against Tarvin, but then again,
but
the person that make just so that you know, the person that makes the plaques for us, okay, sometimes can't do it because of physical. She's ill, so but she likes doing it. But I don't push her. So she knows that I'd like for it to be done,
but
but I won't push her.
If Bryce would have won the damn trophy, you make sure there'd be a speed rush on that damn thing,
I
you?
might go buy one for him and send it to him. Yes, yeah.
So
but
wrong.
yeah, we can't even win the damn things. We've been, but I haven't won in 4 years, and so believe me, I'm not a very happy camper about not winning the damn thing for 4 years. So there you go.
You really gotta hate that I won it too, huh?
So, well, I was leading it before you pulled away. Which, by the way, again, I forgot.
I am Mr. Worldwide.
Oh, you are Mr. Worldwide. You are the NFL Pick'em champion. There you go. So,
For
by
the
the way,
regular season.
you see this? Where's yours? If
Oh,
I can, I give you an internet pinch. It's St. Patrick's Day. Why aren't you wearing the damn green?
I've got algae on me somewhere. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's on you. I don't think I want to know where it's at.
It's over
there. But anyway, other things going on. So we got the tampering thing. That's us. And
Every
again,
team does
I
that.
want to
Every
see
team does
something real. This is one of the most minuscule reports because they don't do anything about it. This happens all the time. This time, nothing is going to come. But if they actually find something, they need to put a stop to it. If they're really seriously about doing it, they got to put a stop to it. That means take them off the
But
field.
every team's doing this. It sounds like sour grapes more than anything else.
No. Hold on. The deal about that report, okay, about the tampering report. Listen, and I'm going to tell you where it came from. Okay. Yes, they do with that legal tampering thing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But a month ago, a report came out Kirk Cousins was moving to Atlanta. Okay, so that is what that is. Now, granted, his wife's family's from Atlanta, but you got to be able to see through the cracks on what that was all about because there's only one person making the money in that family and no one is sick on her side of the family to where they would have to move down there. So there's lots of ways of looking at that, but that came out about a month ago when all this was being talked. So those talks were being done, and that whether how they were done is where it is.
If she's from Georgia, there's a good chance she's a beach girl, right? You're not going to find any beaches that you want to go to in Minnesota. So maybe this is her saying, "Look, you already made a ton of money. Let's move to a beach ASAP, or move to a place close to a beach." That could have happened.
Okay, that's an argument, but I got news for you. Wherever Kirk Cousins goes, that's where the money's coming from. And any NFL player or anybody in a relationship with an NFL player has to go until they can't make any more.
But let me ask you a question: is it really tampering when all of a sudden, if the wife is sitting there saying, "I would like to move back to Atlanta, Georgia," do you think we can just move out their way and maybe you can hook on with Atlanta? That's not really tampering at that point. That's just her asking the question. And then all of a sudden they go out there and says, "Hey, Atlanta, you guys looking for a quarterback? Oh, you got Desmond Ritter. You gonna keep him? Oh, you're not? Well, I've got some numbers here, and I'm probably not gonna ask a whole lot for it. Okay, well, when the time's right, we'll talk about it. That's not really tampering.
Well, as long as they say when the time comes around, we'll talk about it. Yes, but a lot of times we're talking deals, specific on deals and things. Now, I'm not saying I don't know what proof they got. So this is really, and it's hard to prove the tampering portion of it. Just like you just said, maybe his wife said, "Hey, you're done. let's go to Atlanta. I want to go back with my family. I've been traveling around with you for how many years? I want to go back to Atlanta. I'm not saying that conversation didn't happen, but I'm also saying that if the NFL took that seriously, they have to understand or think at least a little bit without the proof that you got to at least investigate it. And that's what they're doing. They're investigating on whether or not it could have or did not happen. I got news for you. We're probably never going to hear anything more about it. And that's what my point is. If you're going to make it, so you got to put it out
Hey,
there and get
hey,
it out there.
it all comes down to this. Guys, the NFL, this is Kirk Cousins. Listen, my wife's got the pussy, so I just want whatever she wants. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That being said, the Bears do go ahead. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this was a big pickup. When you bring Keenan Allen to your football team, man, I am telling you right now, that's a game changer, man. I'm telling you right now. So
yeah,
it could be. And Cuervo might be right about the random pick. That could be.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, check that out. But I bet you right now there is a very happy man in Chicago because of this placard right here. I mean, Chicago Bears go get a guy. Listen, if you're going to go get a guy,
I don't know if you're going to move from San Diego, California, Chicago, Illinois. Are you really all that happy about that?
Well, hold on. Is Keenan Allen happy about it? I don't know. I'm telling you right now, I know Cuervo is not hating this move.
No,
okay?
I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's
You're
not.
talking about an arguably top 5 wide receiver in the NFL on your football team.
Top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Okay. I'm not sure about that.
I said arguably he could be around 7 or 8. I get it, but I'm just saying he's a top wide receiver, and this is a guy. He loves this. He loves this pick. And frankly, it's there you go. 106 miles to Chicago.
Full tank of gas, and we got cigarettes. Let's hit
it. Hit it. He did that because of your arm, just so that you know.
Hey, still a top 5 movie, bro. Still a top 5 movie.
Hey, listen. The Blues Brothers has to be up there with Bull Durham. There is no question about that.
Well, I mean,
Bull Durham's one of my favorite movies. I can watch it all the time.
I mean, I don't have Bull Durham. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite baseball movies, but I wouldn't put that high up in my regular movie because you got Jaws, you got Shawshank Redemption, you got the Blues Brothers, you got Airplane, you got Superman the movie. You got a lot of different things I can pick from. So I don't know. I mean, but Bull Durham definitely one of my favorite baseball movies of all time.
Definitely, it's my favorite sports movie. I think they could have done it without Susan Sarandon too. Maybe as much.
I didn't have a problem with her. I mean,
maybe it's because I'm tired of seeing it because I've seen it 1,000 times and I'm once is okay, you get used to it, but that character I just wasn't all that interested in reality. But but that's just me. But yeah,
I just sit here.
So
I'm trying to see the 2024 free agency rankings, wide receivers. Kendrick Bourne from the Patriots, number 1. DJ Clark from the Panthers. Michael Thomas, Josh Williams.
Get off that website. I don't even want to hear that nonsense. These guys can't carry his jock. What the hell? What website are you reading? Some BS website? Get a real website because Keenan Allen was one of the top free agents out there.
This is pff.com, sir. Pro Football Focus.
What is it?
Pro Football Focus.
Well, then someone needs to get drug tested because Keenan Allen was one of the top ones that were out there.
Okay, here we go. I'll see. Number 1 was T. Higgins.
Okay, now we're talking.
Okay, number 2 is Michael Pittman Jr. Number 3, Mike Evans.
Yes, and he got signed.
Number 4, Marquise Brown.
Number
5,
I get
number 5, Calvin Ridley. Number 6, Darnell Mooney. Number 7, Gabriel Davis. Number 8, Odell Beckham Jr. Number 9, Tyler Boyd. Number 10, Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel, by the way, he is the biggest bang to hype ratio player I've ever came across. Like, he sounds like a good name to put on your team, but when you get him on there, you get nothing from him. So,
Yeah, he's going to the Bills. There we go. Got the placard for him. Yep.
Yeah, good luck with him. Number 11 was Kendrick Bourne. Number 12 was DJ Clark, Shark, or got him the Panthers. Number 13, Michael Thomas.
Well, wait a second. Just really quick. Okay, got it. Okay.
No, number 14, Josh Reynolds. Number 15, Nick Westbrook. Then what the hell's last name is? Number 16, KJ Osborne. Number 17, Noah Brown. That's debatable. I don't know.
Okay. He wasn't a free agent. That's the reason why he's not on that list. They actually did a 4th rounder for him, and so that's actually a pretty good pick too. So I just looked that up. So, but he's arguably one of the best, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So interestingly enough, the Chargers. You want to talk about a team that is bailing? Oh my God, they're letting guys go like they wouldn't believe, But here's another one. As far as the Bears are concerned, I wonder, Jonathan Owens. Listen, he may not like Cuervo, may not like the guys in green, but guess what? Jonathan Owens, I like the move, and then the Swift move. I mean, DeAndre Swift, I think, is a pretty good pickup for the Chicago Bears. So Cuervo should be. I know Cuervo is really happy right now about where his team is and what they have been doing so far.
The Chargers signed Hayden Hurst, the team's second tight end addition for agency. That's 2 days ago.
Yep.
Not seeing anybody else they picked up. They signed Ponya Ford and Troy Dye.
It's a fire sale over there, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's a linebacker and defense too.
Hey, you're a Swiftie now. Cuervo says he's a Swiftie now, and that's DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
So,
Hey, I heard Taylor Swift watches Offshoes TV. Just what I'm saying. I hear that.
Taylor Swift, what?
She watches my show, Offshoes TV.
Oh, is that what it is? I didn't know that. That would definitely be a claim to fame.
All right,
here's a big one. Devin White headed to Philly. I mean, moves the move. Even backup quarterback Jameis Winston is on the move. He's going to Cleveland. I know one Obi is not happy about this because he can't stand the guy. Sometimes you just can't. You know what sucks?
You know what sucks? If you're trying to move right now and you can't get a U-Haul because all the NFL players got U-Hauls right now. I mean, something like that. I mean, honestly. How does an NFL player move?
Well, they're usually moving companies. They're normally not. They're not like AEW guys that will call up. And say, hey, I need a trailer. So it's normally not like that.
Is there like any NFL player that moves himself, gets the U-Haul, gets everything packed in there, and just drives?
I'm sure the guys that are not the big superstars do. I mean, yeah, it's because Winston is a diva, and he's right about that. Cuervo is not a big.
Has Winston earned the claim to be a diva yet?
Yeah, no, he's always been a diva.
Okay.
At least as far as the Sonny Clark and Obi definition of it, we are full in agreement that one Jameis Winston is definitely one. But here, this one right here. Now I want to get back to this because this here, I think is probably one of the quietest steals. You with the combination of a running quarterback and Derrick Henry. One or two things could end up happening. Is maybe they'll keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket and let Derrick Henry take the punishment. or they'll double it up, and which is where I think they'll do. They'll probably double that up, and it could be really interesting how that will work.
I'm always kind of reminded of when you have like in basketball, you have two guys that shoot the ball a lot, and you sit there and go, there's not enough basketballs for that to go around for one
Yes,
team, and you got
yes,
one ball, only so many yards one player can make on one play. Who's more
yes.
important, Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry? Again, I mean, the less you play Derrick Henry, the better it's going to be because it'll keep him healthy. But at the same time, I mean,
That
he
dude
might.
runs over people. I've never seen anybody run so smooth as Derrick Henry does. He's amazing to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's Bo Jackson, but he's
I
he's. I mean, Bo Jackson just destroy you.
there. I listen, Bo Jackson. I know I know a lot of people have a lot of hype on him, and I won't deny his talent, but Bo Jackson definitely looked very sweet when he was on the football field. There's no question about it. Not as a big fan of him as most people are, but
it's
it
funny
is.
because Walter Payton. You go back and watch old highlights of Walter Payton, how he just made everybody
Mhm.
miss. Or as Bo will just sit there and just say, "Where's he at? I'll go get him." So I mean, of course, that's why Bo ain't
Walter
playing no more.
Most people that played against Walter Payton wasn't worried about him running. They were worried about getting hit at the end because
Yeah,
Walter Payton wouldn't go out of bounds. Walter Payton would make you pay for him to tackle him.
yeah.
And that mentality is gone in the NFL. They're going out of bounds. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's just a
Yeah.
different mentality. Back
Well, I
in the
mean,
day, that's the way he played.
Emmett used to have that kind of theory until he got car off the field in Chicago. When he got car
Hmm.
off the field in Chicago, his game changed. And I mean, he still got
I,
the. He's still 5 pounds weight into the record, but at the same time, it wasn't being the dominating running back that he was years before because he
fully
kind of
agree.
he kind of
You are right.
I was there, I saw it. So I wasn't at the game, but I watched Monday Night Football. When I watched him get carried off the field, the next game he looked different, and every game after that he looked different, and he wasn't the same Emmitt Smith that I grew up watching. He was okay. Well, just don't go full blast here because you don't want to get hurt.
Yep.
And
And then it became about money. And he was worried about it. Which listen, I don't fault players for doing that. Okay. Just so everybody doesn't I listen, I understand this is a business and they've got only so much of a window to make as much
mhm,
money that they're going to make for the rest of their lives in reality. Because they can't
mhm.
all be Pat McAfee. They can't be all these guys that will go out and make a living
Speaking
still
of
within the
which,
sport.
speaking of which, what's that big name player that just retired recently after 12 years? And
Yes,
yeah,
played defense for
Aaron Donald, Aaron Donald.
Aaron
Yeah,
Donald for the Rams.
yeah,
Yeah, so
dude.
that was a big story. I didn't get that placard. And I
Yes,
skipped that for
sweet
once.
career for him. Got a Super Bowl ring. Good, did going for the Rams, sir. And he maybe has Hall of Fame numbers to go on there, depending on the way you
No
look at it.
question.
But he didn't wear out his welcome now. Like
10 years, he still probably has this working, and that's probably
yeah.
one of the reasons why he's going. You think about NFL careers. If you're going to be a solid guy that you think about as far as whether it's Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame
Mm-hmm.
career, it's usually more than 10 years when you're talking about guys. And he's probably thinking to himself, the money that he'd be making, he's made so much now. He can take care of his brain, and he only did
Mm-hmm.
10 years in that
Well,
where
but
he'll end up. I would love to hear him as an analyst. He'd be
yeah, I
great, I
mean
think.
ESPN and the NFL Network will pick him up one or the other. But
Somebody will.
yeah, so I see him having in the way ESPN does their shows now. They'll sign you up for like a rookie deal for your TV stuff. Let you do
Yeah.
4 or 5 years of that, then let you go. Just let them build some equity with that, then go from there. Maybe go to a radio analyst type deal, kind of how Brian like a bunch of the guys on the radio sports side for the NFL do it. Hell,
Yes.
even Danny White makes a career off doing analyst stuff for the Cowboys off of Westwood One. So I mean, you know,
And
good
he
for
was the
him.
head coach of the Arizona Rattlers for many years too. So, now I don't know how much he got paid to do that. It's probably not a huge amount, but hey, he had that success after his playing days. It's
Yeah.
really, really huge. So, but crazy week in the NFL. I mean, it started immediately with the legal tampering when Monday for boom, and then you heard all the stories. So that the tampering was going on before, but they were going to run with it. But the you know this week is really interesting. You got the big names. Now we get to see starting next week, probably tomorrow, where they're going to go to fill holes. Now, you went out and got your superstars to bring them in. How are you going to fill your holes with the remaining
Yeah. Well,
free agents, and or how are you going to do it within the draft?
see,
What would you rather do? Would you rather have the free agent or the draft? So,
see, yeah,
interestingly enough,
yeah. This is where the NFL owners said, then okay, we overpaid for the first week, so now we got to see what we have left to pick up whatever can fill the holes that we need, and
yep,
that's where teams. I hate to say this, that's where teams like Dallas will sit there and go, okay, we sat back, we didn't do a lot of stuff. We didn't really do anything. But I mean, we paid up one person, really, yeah.
yeah,
But
but yeah, I think
but
I think I had that placard, but then I decided not to put it up.
but yeah,
But Bryce said this years ago on the show. It's not about 1 through 11. It's about 12 through 63.
yeah,
This is how you determine whether or not. Now, granted, you have to have the 1 through 11. Let's not make any mistakes. But
mm-hmm.
once your 1 through 11 start going down because of injury, how you fill those holes from
It's a
12
game.
to
It's a
63.
game to game basis right there, week to week.
Yes,
And the
absolutely.
thing is, these players get hurt in practice. These players get hurt just walking through their own house. I
Yes,
mean,
field to
it can
field,
happen.
yeah, field to field. My boy up in Minnesota when he was there, Teddy Bridgewater. He had the worst injury in the world, and he was walking from one field to another. Man, kind of get you. So it's just like kind of those things. By the way, obviously the big news was Justin Fields heading on over to the Bears and everything. So we got that. As far as that, Mike Vrabel. That was one that I did not talk about. I have that plank, but let's see what's Cuervo saying here. I don't know, man. I think they
I
deserve a
go
higher score
I,
than that.
I go a B plus to an A minus for what they've done so far.
Yeah,
I mean, because because
they've
out of the
done
free
it
agency moves that I've seen, they've stood out the most.
right.
So now
So
maybe because I have more of a connection with the Bears now because I have to deal with you on a weekly basis. But I mean the fact that watching them make move after move. I mean them and the Eagles and the Steelers and the I mean basically almost every team besides the Cowboys and the East have made moves. So it's just
well,
even
the
the
Giants have been a little quiet. Drew Lock is not anything to write home to mama about.
no, but
So
no,
they're kind of
no, but
lacking as well.
no, but unfortunately, the league still likes him, so that's why he's still a
Well,
name.
this is true. Here's the deal about the move that the Browns made in reality. Mike Vrabel over to the Browns. But yeah, I'm gonna throw this back up. I mean, I don't understand what the consultant portion of it is. More so that in case Stefanski can't get his crap together, they got
Coaching
someone that can
Wade.
slide in there as their consultant, and they can slide in there and become a coach for him. So
Well,
this is definitely a hot seat move for the Browns and Stefanski.
because consultants is a better term than just calling the CIW, coaching waiting.
Yep. No, I fully agree. So where that will end up at, it is going to be big stuff as far as that is concerned. Hollywood Brown. I don't know. Last I heard, the Chiefs were trying to pick up Hollywood Brown. I don't know if that actually finished up with that with the combination of Jefferson. If you can't get Jefferson, Hollywood Brown, not necessarily a bad guy that you could end up picking up and bringing on home, but also the Chargers re-signed the backup quarterback Stick and their defensive lineman Ford. I like Ford. Ford's a big guy that can make a lot of moves for you as far as that is concerned. And Barton. The Broncos signed Barton, the linebacker Barton, after they lost Jewel to the Panthers. So you're now seeing those moves. Oh crap, we lost this guy. We got to start moving it. I'll tell you, I go back to what you were just saying. I mean, Aaron Donald retiring, man. That you want to talk about a hole? You don't fill that hole. That's a hole you don't fill. You just get some. You just get a jag, and hopefully something will go in there.
That's a hole you draft for. Unfortunately, they don't
Yeah.
have any draft. Unfortunately, the Rams don't have any draft choices because they give away the farm to have a Super Bowl. So
Absolutely.
So I mean,
I don't know how you fill that hole. I mean, I can't even think of a guy that you can to get. I mean, huge up.
Unless Micah Parsons becomes available next year, that'd be one guy I'd probably consider. But then you have to deal with all of his nonsense too. So
24 starts. Kenny Pickett, 24 starts. You're gone. He's over in Tennessee. I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm really interested in seeing what Kenny Pickett does in Tennessee, or if he will. That's always going to be a big question as far as how he'll go and go with that. I think the team to watch from here until training camp is your team. I think the Dallas Cowboys need to watch what they're doing. There's something strategic that we're not seeing. I mean, in reality,
as I said, they've been very quiet.
Yes, and that's almost scary.
It is, because the thing is, while they're watching their division go nuts and spend all this money, what's going to happen on week 2? Because the money runs out, and Dallas still has they still have to restructure Dak Prescott's contract to save money. And is that what they want to do? That's the big question. Do they want to just let him just have his final year and just go into the sunset with him and then restart, or do they want to attach him? I know Jerry loves him. I know he does, but again, you don't trust what Jerry says. So, do you sit there and spend X amount of money for a quarterback that can't get over the hump, or do you? But then again, look at the guy you threw his stats up here earlier. He's got over 334 wins and only one playoff win.
Yeah, and then you got to ask the question: the off-field situation with the sexual conduct allegation and stuff like that, is that holding this up?
Apparently, he's suing her for dragging his name through the mud. So I don't know. Once again, this is new. When I heard about this, I'm like, really?
Philly. Pickett's in Philly. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, he's in Philly now. By the way, is Kenny Pickett going to be satisfied sitting on the bench and watching Jalen Hurts quarterback?
Jalen Hurts is going to start.
Yeah. So, I mean, is his mindset going to be set to say, hey, I was a starter for the Steelers. Now I'm a backup in Philly? I mean, he must have known that going in.
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, football players aren't the smartest people in the world, but if you don't know that going into that, you're crazy. Oh, Vanilla Gorilla T-shirt. I did not. I didn't notice that.
What, the one I'm wearing?
Love it.
Oh,
yeah, I love it.
I got this from Franco D'Angelo at IHWE back about 7 years ago. I've got so many.
Oh, really?
I've got so many holes in the damn shirt. So you can get. No. This was Franco's old shirt. This is his group is called the Gorilla Militia. So clearly, Justin James is part of that. But
by the way, Khalil Mack, in San Diego. Well, the Chargers, um, LA. They restructured Mack's contract to keep him. Uh, good, bad, or indifferent. Restructuring of a contract tells me a lot of things about an NFL football team. I don't like guys restructuring because that means in reality, and I could be wrong, but I'm telling you right now, when teams are restructuring contracts, they are hating the fact that they signed it. If they can get someone
Well,
suckered
no,
enough to where they'll actually reconsider their
yeah,
contract,
well, no,
they only make out like a bandit.
no. It's just, see, the way I look at that is like this. Look, we're still going to pay you this money. It's just not going to be in the short amount of time we think you're going to be getting it. We have to think about tomorrow. We have to build for tomorrow, and it's going to take money for us to do that. So it's going to take, rookies coming out of rookie contracts. We're going to have, draft choices to come about. We're going to have free agency to talk about. So if you can have it to where that this year we can restructure you if need be, then
makes it easier to trade them though, Trey. So that's
it does. I mean, once again, there's nothing final with this league,
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is playing for the fucking Jets. I mean, nothing is final for. Of course, you never know that because he couldn't play last year. But I mean,
this is true.
But I mean, look, NFL quit being the league I thought it was when Joe Montana became a Chief. Then Emmitt Smith became a.
I get it.
Then Tony Dorsett became a Bronco. I mean, when you see all these changes going on, which didn't make any sense, but then like you look back in the day when Herschel Walker was traded to Minnesota for everybody. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
And it was a hell of a deal that Jerry and Jimmy put together for that whole entire thing. But it set the league back. It set the league back as far as, holy shit, we cannot let the team get barnstormed like that ever again. And sure enough, that hadn't happened since. I mean, so I'm more interested in seeing what big deals are going to happen to switch up the trade, the draft roster. Because whoever's picking 1 through 32 right now, there are going to be a lot of changes going into that entire by day one happens. And teams that don't have a pick in the first round are going to have a pick in the first round because they got rid of somebody or something that was worthy of that value of a pick. And doing that, you think about some of these players that have been picked up on the free agency market. What if they're just moving pieces to get other pieces?
Yep.
I mean, because nothing's set in stone here. What if Justin? I'm not saying he is. What if Justin Fields was picked up by the Steelers to move in the draft? Not that you get a lot for him, but a player like him, like saying he's got potential, probably is in a bad situation. We definitely move him, get a second or a third round pick. We got a number 6 for him right here. We'll give you his number 6 along with him if we get number 2 or number 3.
I get it.
You sit there and go, you know what? You're not wrong. I mean, maybe the Bears didn't do a lot for him, and I'm not sure what he could have done as a backup to Russell Wilson. But I'm a team right now that needs an experienced quarterback. Say what you want to about Justin Fields. He is an experienced quarterback. He's done this for a couple of years now. So, you bring him in, you give up a second or a third. You're fine with that because in your mind, you're getting a player that needed to change the scenery. And you're getting a player who's got NFL experience. Not a bad deal to have. There's other players out there like him, though. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
6th round draft pick for him. I mean, that the Steelers only had to give up. And if they could trade up with him, it would be, that's a strategic. And you see that kind of stuff when we go to the draft. And would that shock me that the Steelers move Fields depending on what they got their eye on? Wouldn't you? Because here's the worst case scenario. You have Justin Fields on your team, but if you have your eye out somebody on a team that needs a quarterback that they might pull the trigger on with a combination, that could be that's why the draft is must-see TV half the time. You never know what'll end up happening there.
Especially day one. Day one is definitely your make or break.
Definitely.
Day 2 is like that. Day 3 is kind of okay. Let's see what
day 3 is. I'm falling asleep by then. I'll watch Thursday and Friday. After that, Because really, let's be honest. After day two, no one gives a rat's fat ass about any great big names coming out unless those big names slide and they slide down, and that's the only reason why 3 and 4 are
I
entertaining to watch to see who slides
I
down.
I,
It's like
I get
shoots and
I
ladders.
get a kick out of the destined to be a first round draft choice fall in the second round, and
Yes,
how pissed they look on T because they got dressed up, they put the suit on, they flew up to New York or where the hell the draft's going to be. I think Las Vegas this year. They go out
yes.
there to do the whole thing, and all of a sudden they got to wait one more day. And you know what?
Well, classic
Hey,
example of that, as far as that is concerned, was last year with the Tennessee Titans,
by the way,
when they
but
got their guy.
by the way, you talk about great sports movies. Check out Draft Day. Draft Day was a
Oh yeah,
really good movie.
draft day is really good.
Yeah,
A little unrealistic, but pretty good.
I
Um,
mean, yeah,
By the way, it's Will Levis. I had to look a name up.
yeah.
He was expected to go, and he slid to the Titans. Which, by the way, that was the right pick for the Titans at that time because of what they needed. Now, whether or not he'll develop, I would love to see
Will Levis.
Levis just make it big in the NFL because he can say, "Yeah, bitch,
I have a
I just proved you
I
wrong."
I have a question for you. What the hell is that above your head?
That is a propeller
Okay,
for an airplane.
you got the rest of the airplane with you.
No, no, no. It obviously it's a small propeller. It's obviously a small air, but it's a propeller. That's what it is. Got to remember, my wife's in the airline business. Okay.
I know that. I know that about her. Okay, that's
Yep.
awesome.
So
Okay.
my wife works for Delta. So there you go. Shout out to
Oh,
Delta, brother.
yeah,
Although I
yeah.
fly Spirit whenever.
Hey, Delta Airlines don't leave the airport.
Okay.
So yeah,
So there you go. But it's been one of those crazy weeks. I
hey,
cannot wait to see what this week does.
hey, Delta Airlines, you're not a sponsor of this show yet, so become a sponsor. We'll talk nice about you.
Maybe. Yeah,
Although
right.
I will say this, back in 1993, I was going out to Las Vegas to see WrestleMania 9, and my dad had to change my air flight and everything because he was coming back from Santa Monica, California. He had pancreatitis at the hospital, and he was gone for like 2 or 3 weeks. So he comes
Right.
home, changes my. Me and him were supposed to fly out the day before on Friday to go see WrestleMania 9. We're leaving on a Friday from American Airlines. He changes to Delta. I get on the Delta flight. I sit on the bulkhead area, which is kind of cool. Sitting next to me is Jimmy Hart. I got Hulk Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, Sergeant Slaughter, all those guys in the front and
Oh my gosh.
first class. I'm sitting next to Jimmy Hart. I'm reading the book Wired from Bob Woodward about John Belushi. And he
Yes.
looks at my book.
By the way, good book. One of the very few books I actually read.
It's a good book to read if you want to be intrigued about the whole drug culture of Belushi and everything.
Yes.
But it kind of there's a documentary on
HBO.
on Showtime.
Much better.
Yeah,
Much
way
better. That was written based upon the facts that were at hand. Now that the years have gone by, and you find out what actually happened that led to that, it just makes
Yeah.
you just scratch your head, go,
Yeah.
"Holy crap! How did that happen?"
but-
And all the names that were involved with it is
Right.
just
But I
amazing.
remember
too.
reading the book though on the airline, and Jimmy Hart looked at me and says, "Can I see that book real quick?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." It's like he's looking. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And
Yep.
they handed me the book, and we started talking after that. I was 17 years old, geeking out on my mind, like going, "Oh my god, I'm sitting next to Jimmy Hart, sweet." Because how often do I get a chance to see this? Right now, I see it like on a monthly basis. But I mean, the thing was, this was my gateway into wrestling. So little did I know that being on the same airplane with Hulk Hogan flying out there and Randy Savage flying back was going to be the end all be all for me. So, no.
Yep.
But it was actually Delta Airlines that we got off of, that we got onto with our flight to Vegas.
Heck, I'm just trying to be Santa over at Delta Airlines. So that's first step. Never mind. Forget getting them to be a sponsor. I want to be Santa for them. So we'll see what happens. But man, I mean, a lot of moves, a lot of things going on. It'll be interesting to see what
I
next
cannot
week
wait to
brings
see. I
us.
cannot wait to see the Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Sonny Clark.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of wondering how that will actually look if I can somehow
Oh,
make
it
it
won't look good at
natural.
all.
I
It will
won't
not
be
look good at
able
all.
to, but I
I mean, we don't see your mustache, so that's so there is
well,
that.
I kind of got this side working with it kind of reverse, right? Yeah, this is a little reverse, but
You
you
put
know,
some
it
of
is
this
what
up
it is.
here, and
Yeah,
just
exactly.
just
Just
swim into it a
maneuver it
little bit.
around.
I got
So
the same problem. I can barely grow a mustache, so I'm kind of like, yeah.
I got the mustache. It just never gets thick, and it's hard to see. Like when I got the color done, you couldn't even see it that it was there. So
No, I
but
mean,
it's
when I first saw you, that's like a little bit of an Amish Santa. Sweet.
yeah, that Amish Santa. But yeah, but, well, I actually that's all I had. So
Yeah, more.
we're
We
gonna
got 14 more minutes, sir. We got
yeah,
14
we're
more
gonna
minutes
go
left.
ahead and we're gonna bail this one because I gotta do two things. I gotta get ready for work, and so I gotta roll in for a couple hours at work, help out, and outside of that, but next week we're gonna be right back here, 9 o'clock. You know, right up to, if we move it to noon, it'll be interesting to see what we have next week. I mean, because listen, if you think the moves are done, guess what? This week is just another week. You'll be shocked because there will be some movement on players and guys that are in free agency who will get picked up, who go next week. I'll have a list of the free agents that have not signed, and it'll be really interesting to take a look at that list compared to where it was and look at who actually landed and go, wow, I would have rather had that guy
Right.
that's on free agency right now. So it's something to look at. So Cuervo, have that ready. I'll try to send a leak where they have the free agent, open free agents to everybody. So I'll try to do that.
All right.
So
Well, real quickly, everybody tune into the Daily Grind this week on Monday. We're gonna hopefully do a full week's worth of shows. Hopefully, we'll see. Because I've been sick and she's been sick, and we've had some issues.
everybody been
But
sick.
everybody been sick. I had like an upper respiratory thing going on here for the last couple of weeks.
You almost done with that, or are you still kind of kicking it?
I'm through with it now. I mean, I
Huh?
went drinking last night. That thing hurt. But anyway, and it hurt this one. I've been regurgitating like vomit like the last couple hours.
Oh, thanks for the visual. I appreciate that.
But also check out Thursday 7:05 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube, OIWA Worldwide, as we do that show as well. And of course on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Offshoots TV.
Yeah, I haven't watched that for the last 2 weeks. I got to watch those.
Yeah, our buddy Billy Hills, he's not going to be with us for the next couple of weeks because he's going to be up in Vermont doing stuff for a shoot job. So hopefully we get on.
Oh, cool! That's nice.
Yeah, so we'll, it's me and Mike doing some old school offshoot stuff right now, and then of course, hopefully Omega or whoever else wants to pop on with us can join us. You can join us too if you want to, Sonny, if you cared about it, but you don't care about it.
Yeah, but by the time you do that, and I've been working all day. I usually fall asleep to you guys is what it usually is.
Well, there we go. You get trying to, hey, everybody, we got Sonny Clark, the hardest already.
I don't know anything about wrestling. I mean, come on.
Well, boy, no shit. We know about that.
Yeah, I watch it every week, but I have not watched this week's Raw, NXT, or SmackDown. I haven't watched it this week, so I'll be doing that when I get home from work.
I thought it was very cool this past week on SmackDown where The Rock he's in Memphis, Tennessee. He comes out there and he addresses what he was called back in the day, back when he was wrestling, Flex Kavana. And he acknowledged that, and he acknowledged that he feels like he's at home in Memphis. That's where he first got his first wrestling break with the USWA.
Lawler, right?
Yeah, and his Lawler's brother, Lawler's son Kevin was out there taking pictures with The Rock and Paul Heyman and a few other people at that time too. So very cool on that.
Man, Brian Christopher losing his life, man, that's just horrible, man. I think about that and what he goes through as far as that is concerned. Really interesting. He probably looks back on and goes, man.
You know what? That's probably just a lost cause.
Might have been.
I mean, because it's not like he didn't have any help. It's not like he had chances, and so many chances that they gave for him to be put in jail, and then
Oh,
for him to die in jail. That was kind of
guy
the
was
worst thing ever.
phenomenal. Him
You
and
know,
when he was
Sky
wrestling,
Sky Theory.
he wrestled the pit bull. What's his name? It's, junior lightweight champion Pitbull.
Okay.
Um, I could see his face. I hate this. This is the problem with getting old. I can't remember shit. CRS is killing me. But he was known as, and he had that girl with him. Started with an L.
Yeah.
And he was a junior heavyweight champion.
Was it Lee you're talking about?
Yeah, he's a producer now too. So I just can't pull his name.
Sky Theory.
But huh?
Sky
No,
Theory.
not no. I could just see him. He played that hillbilly thing. Not a short skinny hillbilly guy, and redneck kind of thing going on. I just can't remember.
Jamie Noble.
Yes, Jamie Noble. Yes,
Okay.
him and Jamie Noble had some good wrestling. Which, by the way, Sheamus is the one that pretty much ended his career. Oh God, I'm so mad at Sheamus for doing that because I loved me some Jamie Noble when he was like doing it. Man, I love Jamie Noble. He was just cracked me up.
Sheamus might be AEW bound here pretty soon.
That's what I hear. I keep hearing that, and he hasn't been on TV forever. That's
I
normally not a
mean,
good sign.
it's not a good sign, but then again, I mean, where's he going to fit right now?
Well, listen, if you can't find a place for Sheamus, you're not looking around. Now, granted,
Well,
you only can do Sheamus against Drew McIntyre so many times. That part I get.
yeah,
But you could bring him in there somehow.
yeah, but you know what? Sometimes the wrestling is just kind of you need to go away, go learn another hold, or just reinvent themselves. And maybe that's what Sheamus
Yep.
needs to do right now. Edge did that with AEW, and Triple H like, hey, that's fine. We were done with him. He was done with us. Moved on. So it is
Well,
what it is.
and then it's all about burning bridges. I mean, don't burn the bridge. He could be back in the
Right.
WWE, and that's one of the things I read about Sasha Banks. She has already said she's looking forward to getting back to the WWE after she does her stint with AEW. So it'll be really interesting to see it, which, by the way, caused a lot of waves in her quote unquote dedication to
Well,
AEW.
first of
But
all,
did she make her debut on
yeah,
Dynamite?
she did. And let me tell you something. She hasn't been what's been built up for me since NXT. When she gets in the main roster of Raw, did nothing for me. Her going to AEW does nothing for me. Her wrestling all around the world because once again, I'm not entertained by her.
You're
I
not.
no, I never was. And I mean, best of luck to her. I hope she can find success somewhere because I don't think she ever found WWE.
She's gonna make a lot of money. I mean, I saw that. I mean,
It's funny how she can't use the word that she's the boss, so she's now the CEO of AEW as she calls herself. But it's funny
I think that's great.
because the Rock's on TV calls herself the final boss. So
Well, it'll be interesting. I want to see where she goes. I want to see how she actually develops in AEW. How that turned. How that.
well, considering that
You
woman
want to talk
division
a
is
weak division? The
pretty
women's
yeah.
division in AEW is weak.
And you know what? It might help her. It might hinder her because if you
Right.
don't get anybody at her level, which I'm not sure what her level is anymore, but if you get nobody at her level, it's gonna. Now, what's interesting is that they have footage of Bailey and Naomi at AEW rooting her on. So I'm
Right.
like, hopefully they don't catch any backlash from that, from being caught on film for that. But it happens.
I'll tell you where I like Sasha Banks. And I can't stand Charlotte Flair. But when those two went at it, those few times where they changed the belts back and forth a couple of times, those were pretty good matches. I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the Bailey Sasha Banks matches too. I enjoyed those, so I thought that was good TV. But then again, I know my opinion about things are so much different than people who are in the business that know it, as as well as you do and the other folks that you have on your show.
Right.
I just know what I see and what I like, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Look at me and Jimmy G.
Yeah, there's that.
There you go. So,
I'm between Jimmy G and Kurt C. We'll see.
But hey, we'll see. All right, my man.
Yeah, we all good.
Are you going to work today or no?
Yeah, I work today. I got my clothes in the dryer. Gonna go get dressed and head to work.
All right. Well, have yourself a good one. I'm going to do the work thing. I don't have to be there as long as you do. So there you go. I'm just a backstop on Sunday, so for the new people. So that's all. So I'm gonna go hang out there, and I'm just gonna wear my green shirt so I don't get pinched. So
I'm gonna dare to pinch. I'm daring to pinch me. I have a taser.
Yeah. One thing I don't like is being pinched, even by accident, or it's worse. I want to punch you if you pinch me. I hate being pinched. Drives me nuts. Or poke. What's that? Facebook, it's considered a poke, I guess. Never understood that either. But hey,
you have anger
a
issues.
different day. Yeah, there you go. Next week, be right back here, 9 a.m. Couch Potato Sports Show. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody here on the Sunday tradition. 15 years. We've only had 3 shows since our thing, so we got to get back into it.
Right?
We took about a month off. I mean, it's a fresh few.
Where's my plaque? That's what I'm asking.
You'll get your plaque when I damn well get around to it. So there you go.
Wow.
Well, we gotta make sure the plaque maker's feeling well. So I don't want to push her on that. So just so you know, but you'll get it. I promise.
Well, let's quit being generous. Listen, did the plaque winner win the game this year?
What?
Did the plaque maker win the game this year? No, I did.
No, but
so what am I plaque?
Listen, you're not Bryce. All right, so let's just when you get on the level of Bryce, maybe I might go out and get you
I'm
one.
Mr. Worldwide. I'm the Podfather. Come on now.
So, all right, my man, you have a good one. Everybody have a good day. We'll catch you next week, Sunday, here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And that being said, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.